Ooh. Oh. Hi, I'm Jake, and I'm your dad, and I'm proud of you. And today we're doing something a little different. I'm just playing Minecraft, but my thinky bits are just fried, and I don't have it in me to talk for a few hours. But it turns out I've got hours and hours and hours of myself recorded. You know me and Jason, all just talking, talk. So what I'm gonna do tonight, and if it's a thing people like, I might do it again some other time. I'm just feeling lazy, and I'm going to play some podcast audio. I'm just going to cut this dumb shit out entirely, so it'll just be Minecraft, podcast audio. If you need me, I'm around. And, yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, we'll just hop to it, I guess, so have fun. Well, whoops. All right, so okay, I know what to do here. I know what to do here. It's actually not what I want, though. You get the fuck out of here. Yeah. See, we just want the audio. But, like, legitimately none of these, so...
Nope, Jason's gonna come through on both microphones. You're gonna have to fucking deal with it.
It's gonna come through on yours, too.
Every microphone.
That's your superpower? Your voice comes through on every microphone globally?
Yeah, it's called Omni Voice. Terrible power.
Welcome back to the Bad Gamecast. This is Jake.
I'm Jason.
Alright, so after a slight technical difficulty, that's my bad, because the audio was playing for me. I didn't realize it was just playing on stream, so, thank you, Jamie.
I'm Elsa.
This time we played Tiny Racer.
Why are we playing literal shovelware on this podcast?
Whoa.
First you got shooter spheres, and now we're playing this shit?
Well, Shooter Spheres was just a punishment for you. A glorious, delicious punishment.
Hate you.
And this is the worst reviewed game on Metacritic for the year 2020, which means it actually, because there's a review threshold to get a score listed, 5 publications have to review a game.
Oh, okay. I wondered how that worked on,
Yeah, actually, same.
Yeah, enough people actually reviewed Tiny Racers as like actual publications, actual quote unquote, because like games journalism.
Hey, Bill's Game Dungeon is a totally legit source of finding out information about games. No offense to anybody out there who might actually run something called Bill's Game Dungeon.
Or just lives in a dungeon.
Well, that's a conversation for another time. So, anyway, as Jason had said, released July 2020. Developed by Ice Torch Interactive. Released for the Switch and Android, which I didn't know. Published by Ice Torch and MASH. Other games that came out in 2020 we covered in Wilson, Crucible, Minecraft Dungeons, and Battletoads. We've done a lot of them. A lot of 2020 games.
And Tiny Racer is a fucking racer. I'm not going to say much more about it. It's closer to like a arcade racer than a simulation racer or a kart racer, because there's no like power-ups or anything like that. It's just straight racing, but also on like tiny, terrible tracks.
Wait, what would define something as a kart racer besides, is it like karts naturally, but like power-ups?
Kinda, yeah.
What about Twisted Metal?
That's like vehicular car combat, isn't it? Isn't
not a
that
racer.
Like a demolition
Yeah, no.
derby.
That's my bad.
Okay, can we just play that instead?
Yes, please, God.
Oh wait, hang on, I have to cover the story of Tiny Racer. There are no words and no story.
The end.
Got there.
Let me read you off the description that I got from the Switch store. The cars might be tiny, but the race is big. Pick your tiny car, push the gas down, and start a great race. Try not to fall off on Monkey Bridge. Hold on tight. Be careful on the ramps of Forest Jumper. Watch out for sharp turns and be the first in Rock Heaven. Don't let the messy kitchen beat you in cooking madness. Speed up the sunbeds and surfboards right into the finish line and beach party. Try not to fall asleep when you're playing Tiny Racer. Play alone or have fun together with your friends, kids, or parents. Everything thanks to a well-balanced and easy-to-change difficulty settings and local multiplayer. That got a bit butchered. Start a tournament to unlock new maps. Be the fastest and become the champion. Improve your skills with the time trial. Race in your favorite tracks in arcade mode. Pick a wacky car, choose an absurd track, and let the race begin.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I will take my whatever the audio medium prize is now for that voiceover.
You get to play Shooter Spheres again. So I had
Sorry. Yeah!
I play this with my kids. And I guess
Jake hates his kids.
yeah, per the description, they played it with their parents. No one had a good time. Where do we kick off this hot fucking mess? You know what's weird though? I could have swore that this was like a PC port. Looking through the options menu, like the fact that it came out for Switch and Android boggles my fucking mind. Because remember the graphic options?
Oh yeah. oh yeah.
Why does a console game have graphic options?
So it has a graphics option, and the first thing under graphics is a choice of resolution.
What?
Yeah.
Why does it have that? I meant not graphic options itself.
Do you want to play in 1920 by 1080 or like 1660 by, what?
Oh my god, that's
what?
amazing. So this game was clearly developed for the PC, and they decided to only release it on the Switch.
Yeah, it's not out for the PC.
Like, that makes me want to
Amazing.
grab an Android device and see if it has that. I mean, I don't want to give them money for it, because this was, what, $10?
That made just me violently ill real sudden. Was it $10?
I personally paid, I want to say either 99 cents or $1.99 for it. I did not pay much, but I think I got it on sale.
Yeah, I did not.
That's rough, buddy.
Merry Christmas.
When I was playing it, before we even get into the gameplay, when Jason came over so we could play it together since he doesn't have a Switch, I was livid when he walked in the door playing this because I paid $10 whole for this experience. For what? For what?
The worst racing game I've ever laid hands on.
So what makes it particularly bad, Jason?
The courses are horribly designed. That they're weird and they don't have enough room for passing. So oftentimes you'll try to pass someone and get clipped and just get spun out. There's like blind jumps basically, which is not great. And then the actual controls to turn, you don't want to hold turn because you'll oversteer in like a second. You have to tap to get yourself to turn properly. The controls are real bad. The physics isn't particularly good. It's hideous.
It's hideous, and they try to mask the hideousness.
Yeah, it's a lot of the tracks feel like it was, someone was on however they were building and they just kind of like moved things together. And so there's like weird overhangs of two pieces that they were like, you're going to be on this bridge and then you're going to go to this next like rock. And they're just kind of like stuck together. It doesn't feel like they're merged at all.
Let's start with the tracks a little. The tracks in this game probably take anywhere from 20 seconds to 1 minute to traverse. They're not long tracks. And like Jason was just saying, they're not like seamless. They're a bunch of assets overlapped on each other. If you've ever used, say, the Halo map maker, playing in this kind of felt like I was playing a custom map in Halo where you just like stack geometry on each other and you say, yeah, I made a racetrack. That's like the level of technical design we're dealing with here.
Oh yeah, and like these tracks are just floating in the void.
Yeah, another thing that gives it that sort of map maker vibe.
And there's something extra special about going through a turn into a blind jump and then seeing nothingness all around you.
Mm-hmm. As you clipped through the wall again.
As it decided that you're suddenly turning left now, so off you go into the far distance for like 2 seconds before it respawns you.
Yeah, because in addition to the poorly designed look of it, their collision meshes and detection on a lot of it is not good.
Now, so when you first boot it up, it gives you a tutorial. You drive the bus, right? And it's like, press A for gas. So I just hold A. I'm touching literally nothing else. Oh, another fun thing. I don't know if you, Elsa, I don't know if you experienced this. It doesn't support using a Pro Controller.
I have that in my notes because every time I tried to connect a Pro Controller, my Pro Controller connected to the Switch, but it did not function on the game. So I was just sitting there pressing buttons and going, where Well, I guess I'm doing nothing now.
Yeah, I legitimately didn't know that that was a thing that could happen. That's fucking weird.
I don't know how they managed to disable Pro Controller use on their game.
I don't know, because it isn't like it uses the gyroscopes in the, I almost called them Wiimotes, the whatcha things.
The flibble flabbles.
Yeah.
Zip zops.
So anyway, I've got them connected to the base chonky thing with the handles on it, and I just hold A to go forward, and it goes forward and then turns immediately to the left. I'm like, what the shit is happening? So I'm like, all right, maybe it just got weird, right? So I restart it and do it again, and this time it goes to the right. Hey, variety.
Maybe it does use the gyroscopes.
It doesn't. I tested this
The game is haunted.
because I had it flat, and I just pressed it, and it would go straight, and then hard turn somewhere.
Look, I'm not going to even try to speculate what causes it because their game's a mess.
Yeah, I don't know.
And as we mentioned, there are jumps during each of these races. Basically, every single race has at least one jump. And the physics, when you jump off a ramp, just go fuck yourself. If it's a long jump, you will start to flip through no effort of your own. You'll just like, oh, now my car is on its hood. Good, good. You'll land and you'll bounce in a random direction. It's entirely possible you'll land and like be facing 180 degrees in the wrong direction, and then you have to like reset your car because it's faster to reset your car. There's a reset button that respawns you on the track than actually like driving around in a circle and resetting yourself that way manually.
Sometimes you can use the reset button to cheat. There are points in the game where you can basically drive off the track, and as you're falling forward, you'll pass a checkpoint, quote unquote, and you hit reset, and it'll actually spawn you forward on the map.
Oh yeah. There were definitely some times where there was like a difficult section where I would just drive directly into the void almost on purpose and then just slap respawn before I had even like hit the bottom of the pit
Yep, and
and moved on with my life.
depending on how you do it, it will actually put you in front, past all the hard part.
Yep.
Which is how I cheesed one of the maps. I don't need to do this.
Going up and then using the checkpointing to skip around. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Got them speed running strats. And then I tried to find more speed running spots. Boy, did the game not like that.
You just talk about speedrunning, and I kind of want to see like somebody run Tiny Racer at GDQ at like during Awful Block. That feels like a thing that should happen.
I don't want to see anyone ever play this game.
I just want to share the suffering.
I found it by looking literally through Metacritic to just find the worst reviewed game of the year. It has a 29 on Metacritic for actual grades. And then its user score is 7.2 because people suck.
7.2 out of 10?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
I mean, based on how many people, though.
13.
The employees of Ice Torch Interactive.
And a few online trolls.
It's trolls. It's people who, oh, well, I'm going to do something against the grain. Ha ha ha. 10 out of 10. This is the best racing game on the Switch.
Cool.
Right. Cool stuff, great guy.
A little bit about the style of this game, because it's all called Tiny Racer. It's obviously supposed to be like matchbook cars, just micro machines kind of cars.
Does Hot Wheels make video games?
They have to have made some.
There are Hot Wheels licensed games. I don't know that Mattel makes games themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so none of these cars actually like look like they're supposed to be, Hot Wheels cars. The only real effects that are indicating that you are a quote-unquote tiny racer is they have this effect where it's an attempt at the tilt shift effect. And if anybody's seen a photograph with a tilt shift effect, it's like a photograph usually of an overhead of like a city or something that shows like vehicles and buildings, and they look like miniatures, but it's actually a real city. It has something to do with like the zoom and the focus and the blur. And they try to do something like that with Tiny Racer, but it only kind of half works, and it just sort of makes the background blurry, and it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're supposed to, in the first however many levels, you'll never get it. In the late levels, there's like a kitchen and whatever.
Right. You're driving through bedrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like in the first, exactly like you said, like the first half dozen places, it's just like rock and forest and road assets.
Yep.
stapled together loosely.
The racing through a house is what you'd think you'd go with, right? Like if you were trying to do you're racing toy cars, you would have like different courses for each room of a house. Maybe you could have a backyard, if you wanted greenery type thing. But Painted Mountain or whatever that has just like rocks. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's not like level to level. There's no like consistent theme. It would make sense if you were going through like the different areas of a house. If it was like RC cars, which I don't think that they are. It's just weird.
Did you guys go through all the championships, all the tournaments?
No.
No?
No, Jake was really
wait.
bad at this game.
I fucking hated this game.
What you're saying is I am the tiny racer champion here.
Yes.
I mean, if you put that much time into it, I wouldn't say that you're a champion, but God bless you for
say
doing
that
it.
much time, and I played it for. It took me about 2 hours to beat all the tournaments.
That feels about
total.
right.
Yeah, didn't take me a long time. There were, I want to say, maybe 9, 10 tournaments total over the like 15 tracks. So they reused tracks for like the tournaments, which great, love it. And to unlock more tracks and more tournaments, you had to place not first in a tournament. You just had to place in the top 3. I learned.
Yeah.
So thankfully, you can like take first in 1, maybe 2 of the races, like half the races. If you come in first in half the races, you're probably good because the game doesn't have a reliable like rival AI. It didn't feel like a lot of arcade racers usually do have your one rival that's like just better than all the other.
Oh no, the AI in this are dirt and clearly random.
Yeah, they real dumb. They crash into each other, they spin out. There are some times where you'll be driving around on your 3rd lap and you'll just see a car stopped and pressed against the rocks and go, well, he's dead.
Or you'll have it where they jam all in together in some bottleneck and then can't get past one another. So, Jason, you had that where you damn near lap them by the time they get their shit sorted out.
Yep.
And there are a few times I lapped opposing cars where they were just going at like quarter speed down the road. They just had their little robot souls had left their body. I was like, I'm not gonna win. I'm just gonna try to slow in the middle. The AI in this game is fascinating and terrible.
I mean, yeah, it is fascinating in that it doesn't work for the game they made at all. Like these cars don't know how to drive. What did you make this AI for?
They're also very clearly driving on a predetermined path because they all drive in the center of the road. Like they never take the inside lines, they never take the racing lines in a racing game, which, considering all cars move the same speed, is the only way you can overtake them in just like a straight race is you take the inside and they're driving in the center, and that's how you're gonna overtake them. This game's some shit.
That actually makes sense. It's not AI. It's literally just each car is given the path.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you run the race, and that's just like it. They don't make any decisions.
And they don't know how to handle like collisions because, again, as we talked about, the collision detection in this game is ass, and the AI is just as subject to it as you are as the player. So once it gets off script, it doesn't know what to do.
I mean, I don't know. I put the least amount of time into this game of any game that I've played for, quote unquote, played for this one for a long time. I don't have anything to add here.
I'm trying to remember what the game sounded like.
Oh no, it was bad. It was like a very basic beat. It was all the music in the game because there were different tracks for different maps, and I think it just like picked a random track whenever, or picked a random music track whenever you loaded up a racing track. And it's just like 2 measures of random rhythmic percussion, basically. Like dunka 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 dunk. That's Tiny Racer's music. That's it.
It feels right, because I can't remember it at all. I'm like, it had to have just been some repetitive nonsense.
Mm-hmm. While we're talking about sound, I think there were like a total of 3 sound effects in the game. There was accelerate, there was collision noise, and there was tires screeching, and that's it.
Yeah, a really robust and built-out game.
It's strong shit. There's you guys were talking about like the blind jumps and stuff. There's no mini map. There's no like arrow in the sky that points where you're supposed to go. You're just sort of navigating by whim. There's no accelerometer. There's no speed indicator, anything like that. There's nothing showing the racing field's places, like a kart racer, an arcade racer. It'll show you like who's in first, who's in second, who's in third, that kind of stuff. None of that.
Well, yeah, the UI is sparse at best, which is because again, it's all the little things that like they don't do any of at all.
It feels like somebody took a bunch of like pre-made assets, jammed them into something over the course of a weekend, and then charged people $10 for it. I mean, I'm sure the fine folks at Ice Torch tried, but it certainly doesn't feel like it in the finished product. Which just like makes me wonder about the other games that they make, which are mostly racing games, which I can only imagine play as well. But I haven't seen them myself. I don't know.
I don't know, because I don't know if this is like one person. It could be a small team, and each person made their own racing game, and we get to see whose was best.
Oh god, we're gonna play more of their games, aren't we?
No, probably not. We've got other developers
Yeah, probably not.
that have also terrible things that we're like, oh, it would be interesting to see what, and then we never get back to it, because why would we want to?
Thank you, baby Jesus.
Yeah, with the exception of what, maybe Deep Silver? Is that who I'm thinking of?
I don't remember which one that is.
Didn't they do Ride to Hell?
I don't know. What, like, that's part of why we look into who makes these things, because it's interesting to see if it was just a complete one-off failure or if the studio is just bad at games. You gotta know.
Ooh, before I get too far from basic design shit, did you, I'm sure you guys noticed that pressing the B button on the menus does not go back one level.
Oh, God. Okay, so this is a thing I have talked about now many times over. An indication you're about to play a bad game is often, even before you play the game, if you just go to the options menu. And yeah, this game fails that spectacularly. Yeah, it's like, to go back, you have to go and scroll up to the back button, which is like, looks like it should be escape.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's up in the top left corner.
Yep.
And then you gotta press the A button on it.
This game was made on a PC, and they tested it on a PC, and then they released it on the Switch.
I mean, look, it totally makes sense that it doesn't support a Pro Controller, so why would B go back? I don't know, this is one of those games where it's like, Elsa, you hit the nail on the head. This bitch is just shovelware. And it's like, it's so craptacular. I'm not even mad at it. Like, it's just bad. It's all around bad. Like, I want to say that I don't think that, like, the, what is it, ultra high or whatever, quote unquote, graphic settings that they have, it looks bad. Because, like, it looks like 3D models, I guess. And then, like, stuff starts moving, and then that falls apart.
These things, they happen. That was my car falling off a cliff. I did discover that there's something like internal invisible checkpoints in this game. I don't know if either of you two ran into this. There was a section of road where you had to, like, a double back point, and I just said, nope. I drove through the double back because that was faster. And then I was definitely in first place, like, by my position on the track. But down at the bottom, it told me, like, you're now in fourth, you're now in fifth, you're now in sixth. I'm like, what the fuck, game? And then I hit respawn, and it respawned me back at that double back point. So there are, like, invisible checkpoints in this game that you can miss. Great. Love it.
Yeah, never ran into that.
It's a little bit of playtesting for you that
they
Ice Torch
didn't
did
do.
not do. Hell no.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it in other games. This game is definitely falls into that category of, it feels like they started to make it, they jammed a bunch of shit together, and then either they didn't care to make it anymore or whatever, and they just dropped it out there like, here's this. It's not good. It's never going to be good. We don't intend to finish it. Fuck it. Charge people $10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if they started making it with all those slightly creative levels, like the bedroom or the kitchen or the beach, which definitely have, like, more numerous and more interesting assets and background and stuff like that. And they just said, you know what, we're done. And then they made the rest of the half of the game like mountains and forests and just took a nap.
Well, you know, they had a holiday break coming up. And like, well, yeah, let's just wrap this shit up before we're out for a week.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that, because there are those levels at the end that are like, oh, this is probably what they were going for. Then what was the other half of this game? And it's just, it never got finished, and they still released it anyway. Which, we were talking a while back about how Steam has a million bad things. Right? We could plumb the depths of Steam all day, because they basically let anyone publish anything. And someone was like, well, that's what's great about, like, the Sony or Nintendo eShop, is that it's more curated. No.
No,
No.
it's really not.
There is still absolute garbage up there.
That's what I don't get. Like, because I see people saying that the Nintendo eShop's really good. No, it's a hot fucking garbage mess. Like, God forbid there's one thing you're trying to look for, and they're the same way because they started letting more adult-themed games into the eShop, which just opened the door to a flood of crap. And it isn't like, Sony, who had the most consoles out there for however many years. People are just putting crap out onto the Sony store because someone will probably buy it. It's all garbage. Everyone's store is garbage.
Mostly, yeah. Just because, like, that's a lot of garbage gets made.
Yeah.
To be fair, Steam is more garbage, mostly because developing on the PC is more accessible.
Oh yeah, no. Steam is just hot garbage, top
Yeah.
to bottom.
We've also mentioned, I think, before that I go and, I look through Metacritic. That's how I find shit like this. And I try to stick to things that have actual scores because, again, this had 9 critic reviews.
Yeah.
I am astounded at that.
Right? Like, how did this end up on enough people's plates who actually, like, publish reviews that this thing got a score? Whatever. It's terrible. But for Steam, on PC, 1 out of every, 100 games gets an actual score. Because there's stuff that, we are now recording this, a week into 2021.
Mm-hmm.
There's already well over a dozen games that have come out this year on Steam. A lot of them look really bad.
The beauty of a marketplace quite like that, where I don't know what the license or what it costs to just put something on Steam. I'm sure it's not that much,
Very little.
which can be good. It also means that you get to wade through a bunch of garbage, which is fine.
Yeah, as well as, different companies opening up their engines and stuff, right? If you want to make something with Unity or I don't know what Epic's Unreal current deal is, using those engines is actually currently really cheap to free depending on which one you use.
Yeah.
I think Unity's deal is as long as you're making less than, what is it, $10,000, $20,000 a year, you can use Unity for free. Yeah. So until you actually become a bigger time game developer, they will just let you use it, which is kind of cool, and also means that someone can make a game without really investing anything other than time, and then they can release it on Steam for low money, and that's cool because I think people should be able to make games because there's a lot of interesting stuff that maybe someone will try that the people in the AAA game industry who are looking to make money aren't ever going to touch because, well, they're looking to make money.
Yeah, look, you don't make money taking risks, obviously.
Yeah, and so, it's good to have that outlet for people who are looking to take risks or just trying to do something interesting. But it also means you get people who are just trying to flip things for a quick buck. Boy, oh boy.
We're not saying don't try, just
Try harder.
Just actually try.
just actually try, yeah.
It is not an issue to make something and then look at it and go, I have made something bad, and then not release it.
Yeah, I know this well. I've written probably about a dozen novels before I actually came out with a novel that I decided that the public should consume. It's okay to just put things away and call it a learning experience.
Anything more to add about this game?
No, if we're doing the traditional recommendations, I'd recommend you purchase this game to punish your children if they've been bad.
Oof.
I don't know. I think we could find a better punishment game.
Yeah, but a free one too, because I don't. There's no reason why you would spend money on this game, and I spent $10 on it. It's $10 I'm never getting back.
That's
Womp womp.
2 whole cheeseburgers.
Bruh, that's 10 cheeseburgers because they're cheap at McDonald's.
I guess. I don't know.
How much could a cheeseburger cost anyway?
Right?
They're what, 6 for a nickel? Who gives a shit? Cheeseburgers for days.
I was gonna go the other way, like the Bill Gates problem. Jason's just how much does a cheeseburger cost anyways? $40? $50? It's a pittance.
I don't know. Ground beef gets down to $3.99 a pound. You gotta get buns, some cheese.
Welcome back to the Bad Cooking Cast.
Look, if we wanted to do bad cooking, that's up Jake's alley.
That's me. All right, well, if that's it for the game, what do we do now?
If you want adequate cooking, you come to Jason. Oh, wait. We answer letters from listeners like you.
Got there!
Nailed it right in one. We can edit that, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, perfect.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post! All right, so today we got medium long letter. Greetings and salutations, friends. Jake, Jason, Elsa, you're all looking well. How fare thee? That's
You can see us?
that's concerning.
Meh, I try.
I'm looking at you right now, and that is a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, it is. But it's an audio medium, so way to bust me out on it.
I mean, you know, I fare okay, I guess.
Hi. My brain broke right there.
Jake's doing well. Thanks for asking.
Let me sedate Jake again while Elsa answers, and Jake will be doing well.
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking.
All right, so here's some responses to things we've said before, which is I don't know when they were said, which is kind of awkward.
How are we supposed to keep track of what we said and when? Oh my god.
Right? The reason you know these people is because they don't like tea. Anyone caught not liking tea is removed from the nation with extreme prejudice.
Oh, okay.
So clearly we are talking about people liking and not liking tea in England / the UK / whatever.
They are found and they are dealt with.
Yeah, they're apparently extradited or whatever.
They're sent to Australia. That's why it's a
Not liking
country of
tea
criminals.
is a crime, and they are sent to Australia.
Damn.
My love of Hamilton has come up a few times, actually. So, yeah, I mean, that's not surprising.
Wait, you like Hamilton?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. You don't like musicals.
Musicals? Who's got time to listen to those? Me, all the time.
I know how to activate him. Jason, we have a spy on the inside. Nope, not falling for it. All right.
He's struggle bussing.
All right, I'm back. I held on. My pants might be slightly more worn, but I held on. Look, it's Hercules Mulligan, and he's just... All right, so now this is the fun game show time. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Okay.
What the fuck is happening?
Well, they
This
thought
episode is going to a magical place.
they thought it would be a fun time to try to something British town names. Look, I can't read right now. They sent a separate email with the correct pronunciations of these 6 towns in Britain. And I sent it to both of you, and I'm staring at it right now.
Time for us to read through the list that you provided.
Yeah, so we got this first one, which for our dear listeners is Frome, which I would assume is pronounced like Fromm, like Jake Fromm, the quarterback, but...
The fuck? Yeah, it's probably from. Like, I want to say from because it's funny, but there's no way that's how it's pronounced.
I'm going to break with the pack and say it's a long O and say Frome.
According to our pronunciation guide, it's it's pronounced more like Froom.
Yo.
So, Froome?
Froome?
I mean, that's how I would pronounce Froom, but like, that's the problem with his pronunciation guide. I can't pronounce these either.
This is Jason's worst nightmare, and I love it.
You have invented a hellscape just for me.
It's so good.
All right, second one, which is Bicester.
Absolutely, by Chester.
Bickester. Like the pen.
Ooh.
No, I'm agreeing with Jake this time.
Well, it's, I'm going to assume Bister. Bisster. That's how it's supposed to read.
Bister, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sure, now.
Jesus.
Yeah. These are real things. Real places that are totally cool and good. Number 3, Gloucester.
Looks like Gloucester.
Gloucester. No, Gloucester. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know. I was trying to think of a weird way to pronounce it, but I can't come up with anything. I just see like,
Gloucestershire?
yeah, something like that. Which is Gloucester. Glosster, according to this person.
All right.
Which I'm not sure I can trust them anymore.
Gloucester.
Derby.
I don't give a fuck. That's Derby. That's Derby all day. That's a word. It's a word and shit.
It is, but it's going to be pronounced Darby with an A.
Yeah, this is running into ones that like I could actually know is this is 100% Darby.
Yeah.
Which it is. Darbee
Aha.
is how it's
I
pronounced.
got one. Because it's the easy one.
Yeah, right? Norwich.
Well, that would be Norwich here in the States.
Yeah, for everyone American, you see Norwich. Norwich.
I'm going to say Narch.
Norwich?
Norwich.
Norritch.
Norwich, yeah. I was really
Narch.
hoping it was Narch.
Narge.
Narge.
They be coming down from Narge. So Worcester.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce. They got a great sauce. It's brown and everything.
I agree.
So this one, it's interesting because the pronunciation guide I'm given is a place here in Ohio that is also arguing about how it's pronounced.
Oh.
Worcester?
Wooster. Worcester.
Oh.
Okay.
What? What? How?
Look, that's what it says right here. I've got the guide.
Look, I will accept that C-E-N-S makes like a long S sound or whatever, right? But there's a fucking R there.
Yeah, you just ignore the R.
Whatever. It's only been there for what, like 6,000 years or something because England. That's fine.
Yeah.
Language moved on without them.
Basically. All right. Now we've got the second round, which is we're off of game show. These are just questions. Which the second round is quick fire questions.
Hey.
Is there a game you play that's a comfort food or the gaming equivalent of sinking into a warm bath?
Chrono Trigger.
Might and Magic 7.
Destiny 2.
Boo. Boo this woman.
Hey, on that note, I've been digging Beyond Light.
C.
Boo this man.
Next question, Jason. Rapid fire.
Go-to instrument on Rock Band / Guitar Hero.
Guitar?
Drums.
Oh, no, microphone.
Guitar.
Best game that has monotonous task as its focus. Think Papers, please.
Shit.
Fuck.
Stardew Valley.
I'm just trying to think what the best, like, what do you call them? Away games are. Like Cookie Clicker.
Oh, idle games?
Yeah. Whatever the best idle game is. Because those are designed to be not, like, actually interactive.
Clicker Heroes? That one's pretty good.
I don't know. I don't play them, so whatever the best one of those is.
I've got like 90,000 hours in that game because it was just run in the background for so long.
Yeah, I don't really play, like, mindless games usually.
So, Airport Sim 2014.
All right. Third up, your perfect meal. Starter, main course, side dish, drink, and dessert.
Pot stickers, and goddamn pot stickers.
And you need a drink.
That was the drink.
I thought that was the dessert.
Oh, shit. Okay. Real talk, though. If I wasn't going to go with just my weight in pot stickers. I don't know. A fucking baked potato, a steak, I guess, a salad, and I'm trying to think of a nice wheat beer, something that'd go good with the steak. And I don't eat dessert. I don't give a shit.
Take me to a Brazilian steakhouse, and just all the courses are just slabs of meat.
I have loved every time I've gone to a Brazilian steakhouse and just filled myself with meat.
I've
Right.
never been to a Brazilian steakhouse.
You should go. and
Don't
fill
take
yourself
that out
with
of context.
I should go fill myself with meat? Yeah, okay.
Yes, fill yourself with meat. Let's just keep saying that phrase.
Did you say feet?
Well, that's a whole nother thing entirely.
No!
For me, I think it's just like a giant charcuterie board. Just a massive spread of cured meats, interesting cheeses, fruits, just,
You
yes.
fancy bitch.
Oh, yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like the internal Jason is like, I would totally just be like, yeah, charcuterie and wine and be a pretentious snob. But like, actual Jason doesn't get to live that life. So, hey,
Like, all I'm thinking of is fucking Momos right now.
I get that. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Alas, my friends, there concludes another of my long-winded and pointlessly wordy emails. Hopefully some good stuff to work with there. Keep up the good work. Tally ho, oh bugger, broke another monocle. Yours indomitably, Lord Britannia.
Hey!
Bip, bip, and cheerio and all that.
Lord Britannia, you absolute magnificent bastard.
Seriously, thanks for all the emails. They're an interesting ride from start to finish. But if anyone else has any questions, comments, concerns, recommendations, things they want read here on the podcast, you can email thebadgamecast@gmail.com. Any other ways you want to get hold of us, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. We have a YouTube account. We are on Twitch Monday through Thursday. This is currently, episode is coming out during the period of time where me and Jake have switched days. So I am on Mondays and Thursdays at the moment. If you're listening to this later in the future, it might not be that way anymore, but who knows? We stream usually around like 6 Eastern until whenever we stop streaming. So, all of those places, The Bad Gamecast, check us out. You can also find The Bad Gamecast on Patreon. Thanks to all our Patreon supporters, helping Jimmy this jam or whatever.
Yes, thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are the fucking bestest. Yeah, all right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at Jake Prey.
You can find me on Twitter at Freya Faust, which is my pen name. I know I've plugged my book many times. It's an urban fantasy called Stray Dogs, and it recently came out on paperback. So if you're into holding things in your hand while you read them and having paper pages to read with your eyeballs, with your eye holes, go buy it. Throw it at your kids.
Well, for the Bad Gamecast, I've been Pot Stickers.
I'm going to have pot stickers.
Pot stickers!
Good night, everybody!
Pot stickers!
I just got dumplings on the mind.
Oh my god, right?
Why am I still doing this to myself? Stop the recording! I need to get off. Wait, what?
Whoa, now.
Except I wasn't prepared for the cannon to go off. I didn't realize it was an actual fucking cannon that actually fucking goes off.
Yeah, you gotta fire the cannon.
Yeah, which is amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, that's fucking exciting. But I was unprepared for that one the first time.
That's how Jake developed his tick. Jason controls the cannon, obviously.
Yeah.
Jason, do you control the cannon?
Do you not have a cannon guy? You need to get a cannon guy.
I don't have people for things.
Look, once you get a guy, it all just spirals from there.
Welcome back to the Bad Gamecast. This is Jake.
I'm Jason.
Halt! Who goes there?
And this time we played Elder Scrolls Blades. Before we get into it, released March 2019. Published by Bethesda, developed by, you guessed it, Bethesda. Hey, have you ever heard of Bethesda?
No.
Jason, your favorite developers? Other games that came out in 2019 we covered in Eternity, Left Alive, and Metal Wolf Chaos. And at this point, I think we've covered just about every game that came out in 2019.
Not true.
That's true. That is not true.
Fucking
We
nailed
got
it.
more.
There's layers to that cake.
Oh my god, you'd think like there's always more. There's always more from 2019. I don't know, I'm done.
I guess I should take the reins in the early game because I only played Elder Scrolls Blades for about 5-6 hours, which was considerably less than you guys. I played on the Switch. What platforms did you guys play on?
I played on my phone.
I played on both.
Interesting. Okay. So we have a variety of perspectives. So, like, I guess story-wise, you are one of the Blades, an elite squad for the king that was outlawed long, long ago, and you've been sort of just adventuring ever since, and now you've come back and everything's fucked.
Yeah.
that-
The Blades are a
Pretty succinct.
super secret fighting force sworn to slay dragons.
Oh, really?
That comes up later.
Okay. Yeah, and you come back and you found your village has burned down due to the Bloodfall Queen's mercenaries who were like shaking the town down, and they destroyed a statue, and then in the middle of town, and the statue in the middle of town exploded and burned everything down. And the mercenaries are like, whoa, that's weird. That wasn't supposed to explode, and they just fucked off. It's here when you get back to your burned down town and meet the elder, or whatever his name is. Who cares? You get to create your character like you do customize your character like you do in any Elder Scrolls game. I made a giant bronzed warrior woman, and I called her Shira, and she was an Imperial. So she got bonus healing and like bonus damage from longswords. It felt like the thing to do. What about you guys?
What was your character?
Breton.
What?
What was his name? Oh shit. What was his name? It was something stupid.
Anyway, I was Gromak the orc.
Perfect.
Oh, I was Garbage Face.
Oh.
The Breton.
What was your town named? Because you also get to name your town.
Well-
Go ahead, Elsa.
Okay. I named my town Gray Skull because, of course.
Mine was Potataville, I want to say.
That was me. I
No,
was
that
Potato
was you. You were
Land.
Potataville. Mine was oh my god, it was. I don't remember. It was something. It was equally stupid because I would laugh about it every time it came up.
Oh yeah, every time it was like Potato Land leveled up, I was just I am a serious gamer.
Yep. So when you get back to burned down Potato Land, the elder says, well, mercenaries attacked, everything burned down, and now like villagers are hiding in the caves, but they got attacked by goblins, and you got to go to the caves and save them from goblins, and some really basic like generic RPG shit that you do in the early game is like destroy the goblins, destroy the spiders, destroy the bandits. The town is a large focus of the game because you have to rebuild the town. So there are these like burned plots that if you click, you can rebuild them into like houses or blacksmiths or other shops, resources that you find during the levels. And we'll get into this more later, but there's like timers on like building houses and stuff. So you say, I build this house, but the game says, oh, well, it's going to take 30 minutes. So you could either wait 30 minutes to wait for your town to, you know, increase in prestige. You got to level up your town so you can make better armor and weapons and shit. And I'm sure we'll get into that more. Or you could pay us premium currency, which is gems.
You
And
get
that's-
gems from playing, from like any chests you find. But you can also buy gems for real dollars.
Hey.
Cool, very real monetization strategies that aren't predatory at all. Let's not crack open that Pandora's chest quite yet, because I think Jason and Jake actually know what happens in the story from here, because I got to the point where I talked to the Bloodfall Queen, the one who burned down your village for the first time, and I confronted her and said, hey, you burned down my village, and she's like, yeah, that was an accident, sorry. And I'm like, okay, I forgive you, I work for you now. Then I did like 2 missions for her, and then I stopped playing. That was it. That was my experience. So take it away.
Cannot work for her, which is one of the things I found interesting about the game. They present a lot of there's like a couple different storylines. So there's the main story of fixing your town, which is the one that I went through, and I did a bit on the other ones, but I didn't see them through.
Yeah, same.
The main one is like when you learn that the statue exploded, you find I think it's a Khajiit, who's like a archaeologist.
Yeah,
That's
she's an archaeologist.
That's fun.
so you
Khajiit has bones.
yeah, and you go through there's a secret crypt under the town. You go through and you learn that I will not remember his name at all.
It's Celebrex, the Lightbringer.
Yeah, the bad guy was down there. He was sealed underground. He was a lich who does undead magic, and he was sealed down there hundreds of years ago using an Elder Scroll, which you learn after a couple missions down this storyline. You have to try to find the Elder Scroll. You go through a bunch of stuff, asking people where they've seen undead, clearing out areas. Eventually you find the Elder Scroll and you're like, hey, can this trap the guy? And they're like, well, not it alone. We need another thing. You try to find the other thing, and then you're like, I can't find it. And then you talk to a dragon, and the dragon's like, I can find it. But first you have to, you're a blade, so you're sworn to kill dragons, so fight me. You fight the dragon, and then when you beat them, they're like, fine. This is where the thing is.
Wait,
because
you fight them, but you don't kill them.
No, not this dragon.
All right. Fight me so we can become bros.
Yeah. He just needs you to prove that you're strong enough to actually try to take out the evil lich, I guess, because the
Sure.
evil lich would destroy the world, which he is not for, being part of the world. Yes.
So the dragon's like, I'm not going to waste my time if you're going to go get shit on, kid.
Kinda.
Makes sense.
So you learn where that thing is. You do more quests to like find exactly where it is. You go, you get it. Then you have to fight old Lich Face and seal him away and save the town.
Hooray!
Yay!
There are other storylines involving the queen, which I don't know where that exactly goes. She's trying to clear out bandits, and there's some other stuff that she has you do.
Yeah, there was
I
some
assume it's
storyline this is probably what you were gonna say, related to her father, because like she inherited her title from her grandfather, who decided to give the regency or whatever to her as opposed to his son. So like he skipped a generation, and there's a whole feud happening there. That's where I thought the story was going. You know, the story that I didn't play.
I figure that's where her plot goes, but I, again, didn't actually see it through. There are the Thalmor, who are the racist
I
elves.
just
Yes.
making up words.
And the racist elves want to purge all of the believers of... I don't remember.
Well, they're in town looking for the blade that they know is somewhere around here.
Well,
Wait,
they're
the
also
elves
there
are in
to...
town?
What?
Sorry. The elves are in town?
They show up if you get your town high enough, yeah.
Oh.
And then they're there to find the blade and persecute all the, like, believers of Talos or whatever.
You know, normal Thalmor shit.
Yeah. Your god isn't real. We're here to kill you all.
Which is funny because in the universe, they're provably real. Whatever, it's fine. I'm questioning it.
Yeah. I don't know if you can, like, you do quests for them, and I don't know if you betray them at some point, or if you have the option to, like, just actually help them.
You do, because, like, one of the first missions that you go out on, you're supposed to, like, lead them to a group of trolls so the trolls will kill them.
Yeah.
Only if, like me, you do it wrong, you actually just rush ahead of them and then murder all the trolls, and they're like, well, guess nothing's here, lol whoops.
Right, that was you're supposed to, like, lead them into an ambush, but I killed the ambush, so then, like, I guess I was helping them purge the wicked or something?
Yeah, which is probably how it's supposed to play out, but, yeah, just bloodlust rush forward.
Well, the guy I talked to, like, he wouldn't follow me. When I was like, we need to go that way, he was like, I'm scared, I'm just gonna stay here. And I'm like, fine, I'll kill everything.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Like, all right, hang back, I got this. Jesus.
You can't see the eye rolling, but it's happening.
There's also how do I separate this? There's a in-game tournament of, like, champions where you fight NPCs and over and over and over, and it gets harder and harder to become, like...
It's a gladiatorial arena, yeah.
Now, there is an arena that is against other players.
Yeah, that would be the PvP one, but
Yeah.
there is a single-player one.
Correct. And that has its whole long thread that I assume eventually you become the champion of champions or whatever.
After you defeat the queen, yeah.
Yeah. So, you can see there's a few different storylines. They kind of weave in and out. None of them are particularly interesting.
No, it's all very rote, standard RPG, fantasy, Elder Scrolls bullshit.
Elder Scrolls, you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I played Skyrim, and I did not play it for the story.
No. In fact, I disengaged from the story most of the times that I played Skyrim.
But Dagrons...
And Civil War, and I don't care.
Right. So I guess let's talk about the gameplay of this game, because it's like Elder Scrolls but bad.
Let's talk about the fun of an Elder Scrolls that's supposed to be played on your phone.
Yeah,
yes.
pretty much.
Like proto Skyrim, because you
Yep,
walk around, but then when you engage in combat, oh boy.
You are locked into place, so you can't move after you engage. And you have the options of blocking, swinging with your left hand or your right hand, or I guess swing left or right with your weapon. And you have 3 abilities and 3 magic abilities to choose from. So, you have some options, but at the end of the day, the gameplay loop is basically the same for every single enemy you face. Or at least for me, it ended up being block until they attack the first time. Then my stamina and my abilities have all charged. I fire off my first magic, I fire off my first ability, and usually they die.
Oh, who blocks? That seems like a waste of time. Just crush them with your hammer of infinite damage.
I didn't have a hammer of infinite damage. I had a longsword of mild inconvenience.
We just hang out, stare at each other, wait for them to block, hit them with shield breaker, and watch them die.
Yeah.
What's a shield breaker?
It's a skill that does bonus damage, and then if they're blocking, it stuns them and, like, does even more damage.
Oh my god.
I just hit him with a Skull Crusher, which would attack through their block.
Yeah.
Fuck your shields.
Shield Breaker is the advanced version of that, basically. And so, yeah, you just hit someone with that, and it's like, oh, cool, bye. You tried to block, now you're dead.
Later in my gameplay session, because I was balancing magic and abilities pretty evenly, I unlocked like the constant flamethrower, which you just like hold down and does fire. I got lazy in combat, and I would just start combat with that and just watch the opponent slowly die. They'd attack me a few times, but I was just sitting there with my arm extended, fire pouring out of it, going, it's literally just a timer, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, did magic ever get to be good? Because, like, I tried it early on because I had a sword and shield and I was trying to use magic. And then it sucked up front, so I just dropped that. And then this stuff we'll get into later, I ended up with my stupid hammer.
It was useful to have to overcome various resistances and weaknesses and stuff, you know. My inner Pokemon trainer was just like, ah yes, weak to fire. I press the fire button. Ah yes, weak to lightning. Press the lightning button. And that served me well because it usually took, as I said, one spell and one like sword combo, and most everything would die.
No, that's
provided
funny, 'cause
you
I'd
hit the
be
right
like,
weaknesses, yeah.
oh, they're resistant to hammer, and it one-shot him. Guess not.
Yeah, the trick is to use the two-handed weapon and then enchant it with, there's a combat enchantment, and it just ignores so much of their armor. So it's like, I'm resistant to, don't care. This is my greatsword. You're dead now.
I played for 6 hours, and I never unlocked the enchanting area, so I never got to experience enchantments. That was the one thing I kind of wanted to push towards, but I got to like 2 a.m. and was just like, nope, I have to sleep.
It's a massive resource sink.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it is.
Well, you know, just like the potions
Oh, yeah.
and blacksmith and fancy time doodad decoration seller.
Warehouse?
Quick, Jake, buy the ultimate chest bundle for $9.99. Buy, buy, buy.
I did, which is how I ended up with my stupid hammer of infinite damage.
Oh, well.
I didn't buy
there you
that
go.
one. I did end up buying, like, I spent $20 on this game. I bought some stupid bundle. It came with some legendary items or epic or whatever the top tier one is, and a shit ton of materials, which really spared me so much grinding. Now, I was playing this game primarily on the Switch, and then I downloaded it on my phone to hop back and forth. Also, Jason and I were trying to get the whole guilds thing to work, which is a hot fucking mess. But I was sitting here drinking, playing Elder Scrolls, having a decent Friday night, because, you know, at this point, like, I wasn't having a bad time with the game. I was drunk, and then, you know, and it's like, I was tired of not having enough copper to, like, oh, I want to upgrade the blacksmith to build this house. Oh, you need more copper, because go fuck yourself. So I was like, fuck it, here's some money, shut up. And then the
man.
game was no longer a challenge. In fact, from that point forward, I was just wasting my own time playing it. They're like, even the later stages, that hammer, which isn't anything better than like any of the hammers that you can like craft or get up to, right? Like it's just, it was doing so much damage early on, and then as I progressed, it still did a shit ton of damage, but because I never used any of the revive potions when you get knocked down to 0 health, I just had a shit ton banked. And I wasn't using magic, I was using skills, so all of my skills were based around dodging. So when I'd see them winding up for an attack, I would just dodge, and then counterattack, crush them in their big dumb face. And then if they actually hit me, there was a dodge that gives you health back if you dodge successfully and hit them. So if they didn't kill me, I would just dodge, get my health back, and then crush their skull. And then in the off chance that they did murder me, I would just get right back up because I had like literally 60 of the fucking revive potions because I never used them. I mean, I also got some with the bundle too, besides what the game gives you, which they kind of dump them at you.
Not my case.
Oh.
I had like 2.
Oh.
Still killed things, but I actually had to use the game's mechanics.
Ooh.
And it just gets tedious. The levels we're describing. So basically, each level you start in, and it is just a linear shot to the end. Forests are, you're in a forest with big rocks that guide you to go to the place. You're in a cave. Well, guess what? Cave is one place. Go there. You're in a castle. Well, the castle only has like one hallway open. The game is incredibly linear. to take you from singular fight to singular fight.
It is corridors and rooms. It is taking a page out of fucking Final Fantasy X and Crash Bandicoot 1. It is just go forward.
Yeah.
You know, that good action that you look for in an Elder Scrolls game.
Uh-huh.
And every level basically consists of, you just go forward, kill all the things. There's secrets to find. Ooh! Secrets are basically hidden areas, but once you come to, like, recognize them, they become really easy to spot.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a lever in the wall. I guess I'll go pull it.
Yeah.
Ooh, look, a glowing button. I wonder what that does.
Well, because they all glow, which makes you wonder why, like, here's a secret. Well, we have to make sure people don't miss it. Well, make it glow. Does anything else glow? No.
No.
All right.
Odd choice, but okay. So secrets are usually just a room. Sometimes they have a strong enemy in them. They have chests in there. There are like 5 different tiers of chest. There's wood chest, silver chest, gold chest, and then the good ones like legendary chest, elder chest, or something like that.
Sounds about right.
I never got one of those.
Yeah.
I bought one.
The higher tier of chest, the more like good stuff you're guaranteed to get. They are straight up loot boxes.
Yeah.
Sure are. Even when you pick up chests in the middle of like levels, you go to a separate screen where it like pops open like a loot box. If you've played any game ever in the last 10 years with a loot box, it like, explodes out like items and you gotta click through each one, and it just slows down the pace of the game so goddamn much.
Yeah, you can hit skip. Because,
What?
Yeah.
What? Where's
Look,
the
you
skip
not-
button?
Yeah, there's a skip button.
I don't know if there's a skip button on the Switch.
There is.
Fuck! What was it?
Whatever the Switch version of Start, I think it's Plus.
God damn it.
Yeah, and because, you're on your phone, everything is touchscreen, they have to put it on there as like there's just a box in the corner that just says skip.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, because it does that same cool explode animation. Look at the colored orbs and click on each colored orb to see what you got. That is definitely not, straight up loot box casino. Ooh, shiny things.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah.
Give me that hit of dopamine. Or, those other chemicals that I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you named the good one. Dopamine.
There are the levels I listed, right? Forest, cave, castle. I think there's another one. But that's it. Oh, yeah, the crypt.
Crypt,
Or is-
yeah.
Yeah.
There aren't other areas.
No. And there's very little variety in the enemies, too. At least that I experienced in my, 6 hours.
They just get, basically they get, adjectives and stuff that make them higher tier. So you'll face, goblin, then you'll face goblin warrior, then you'll face red faction goblin warrior, white faction goblin warrior.
Of course.
There's not a ton of enemies. There's not a ton of zones. There's not a lot going on here. Yeah.
Uh-huh. There's, as we mentioned before, there is an arena mode. Did either of you jump into it? Because I did one fight, and I totally pasted my enemy, and I had to immediately look up, was I fighting a bot? And it doesn't appear that I was. I just, murked a dude.
Same. Yeah, the first one that I went into, I did it twice. The first time's with the sword and shield, and it was some idiot coming at me with a warhammer, and he didn't understand what block meant, so he would swing, I'd block properly, he'd get stunned, and then I just pooped on him. And then the second time was with my hammer, and somebody attempted to block, but lols, screw your blocking, and it did not go well for them. You
My
should have
guy
done what
was-
I did and just put money into the game, idiot.
Pay to win, motherfuckers.
Which it actually is, because I believe you're paired up by your level.
Yep.
Which means that it is very easy for one person to be much better, whether by luck or by dollars. Yay. Because when you upgrade, so each item, right, if you have a greatsword, there is the regular greatsword, and then there are 10 different upgrades.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah, so it can be I have my phone right here. I can literally pull this up. I haven't uninstalled it yet. What up? That's literally going to happen as soon as this episode
I'm
ends.
just gonna,
I have. Otherwise, I would have looked at my stupid town name.
Basically, yeah. You got the greatsword, and then it's like supreme, exquisite, blah blah blah, all the way up through. I think legendary is the top tier. And each time you go up, you increase both like how long it takes the item to break, and it's just flat stats. So if you got a legendary iron, which is like the earliest game stuff, it'll actually compete all the way up through like the next 4 tiers worth of stuff, just because of how much flat
Yeah.
bonus it got.
having a PvP mode, arena mode in just like a pay to win freemium game feels gross.
It is. It's not great, and like there are ways that they could implement it better, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Because like you could assign everything an ability score, or like or a light level, if you will, and then try and match people up like that, which is its own fucking issues. And Jason's over there cracking open chests and shit.
I want to point out, I literally logged in while we're talking shit on this exploitative game, and it just dropped me like a bunch of grand and transcendent soul gems.
Fuck yeah! Heard you was talking shit. Will this shut you up?
Thanks, game.
Elder Scrolls Blades, best game in 2019.
Yeah, you're still getting turned off. Yeah, so you got regular something, magnificent, flawless, exemplary, sublime, majestic, and mythical.
Oh, that's nice.
Which, like, when you get up to mythical, you're talking about adding, like, for this weapon I'm looking at here, has a base damage of, like, 100. The mythical version gets plus 80 to its base damage. You can nearly double the damage of your thing just by crafting or buying.
Yeah, let's be honest. Buying.
Well, like I don't know what like the loot table looks like, so like there is some sort. I mean, RNG did factor into what I got because
Sure.
loot boxes.
But with the top tier one, the like crazy chest, you're guaranteed a top tier thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could have gotten an armor, which LOL get wrecked.
No, I did.
I mean, but you could have gotten, I don't know, it maybe does guarantee you a weapon as well, but like if it's just an armor, it won't be not useful, but having a weapon that kills everything, because I got a random drop that was the second highest tier really early on, and it lasted me the first 10 hours of the game. I just cleaved through everything with this greatsword.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It must be nice because like part of the reason that like I didn't try to push further in this game was just I wasn't getting the things that I needed, and like so like Jake said, I was sitting there needing more like copper to build up my town because my town was too low level, so I couldn't upgrade my blacksmith, so I couldn't upgrade my weapons to the levels that I wanted to upgrade them to. So I just got bored and wandered away because I didn't put any money into this game.
Yeah, copper is probably the biggest one that they clearly, and there's a few other resources, they clearly intentionally kind of make sure you really don't get the resources you need to, like, easily.
Fucking
Yeah.
sucks.
Now there are missions that you can grind out that are like dailies and shit to give you more of those resources. You just get to do it a lot, repeatedly.
And they are the most boring missions. So either you can grind for hours on end, or you can just give them some money.
God.
Yeah.
See, like I've played a freemium free-to-play game recently that I liked. Essentially Baby Monster Hunter called Dauntless. I think you both have heard of it.
I've played it.
I haven't played it, but obviously I know of it.
And I enjoyed that way more than I did my time with Blades, because like when you're crafting weapons and armor in that game, it tells you like what monster you need to go fight, so you can go, okay, I go here and I get the resource. In Blades, it's just like, I don't know, maybe you'll get some copper eventually, go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, I never really felt like I could grind out any specific thing.
Right.
Your odds of getting copper are random,
No, there was ones that it would tell you like you'll get X amount of this resource
but you
for
don't
doing this.
always have those,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
those themselves are random. Boy, oh boy, did I get a lot of, hey, this is the fabric quest, and I'm like, I don't need fabric.
The actual fuck do I need fabric for?
Please stop. And they're like, oh, well, the next one, the fabric quarry. That doesn't even make sense. Game Y.
I'm gonna go on down to the fabric mines, you see.
Naturally mined fabric.
Yeah. Before we get too far away from it, in general, the UI in this game sucks. There are way too many clicks, at least on the Switch version, to get to wherever I wanted to go. Things were very underlabeled, so sometimes there'd be a symbol up in the top left of my screen that I just like couldn't figure out. It's like there's an exclamation point with a 3 next to it, and it's trying to tell you something, and you're trying to figure out how to dismiss it or click on it, and it just sits there, taunting you, laughing at you, judging you. Fuck you, symbol. I have a master's in aerospace engineering. I don't need to take your shit.
Ooh, big flex there. God. Yeah.
Elder Scrolls knows what it did.
That is something I found interesting playing it on both platforms was I found the layout much better to use on the phone, almost like it's built for a phone and it's a Switch port.
I made a mistake.
But
You did.
I found like the going out actual gameplay so much better on the Switch.
Because
Because you got
otherwise,
buttons.
you're wandering around, using the, like, kind of dual thumbstick touchscreen phone thing.
Yeah,
Ew.
It's not great.
it is not great.
Hey, you can also tap to move, which is much worse. Ugh.
So the main crux of the dance around SimCity
Oh,
we haven't touched on.
I mean, that's...
I mean, we've touched on it, but
Yeah, so you build up your town, that actually gates your progress through the story.
that's what I was going to talk about. Elsie, did you ever get to where you couldn't progress in the story because your town level wasn't high enough?
Once I needed to have town level 2 to get to honestly one of the lower level quests. I'm like, okay, I'll build some houses, and I built some houses, and I went on the quest. Took me some gems because like I didn't want to wait for the houses to be built, but they were free gems that the game gave to me. But that sucks that it keeps going like that.
Oh, it does. Also, the timers for building and upgrading get longer every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to build your like top tier blacksmith, it only takes like 10 hours.
Gross.
Yeah, come back tomorrow and then you can blacksmith. Get fucked.
Or-
Or just if you slide a couple dollars our way.
I mean, if you got like 3,000 gems, bro, we'll take care of this shit right now. That how many? Because that's more than I've seen the entire time playing for free.
You know, talking about this game has made me more mad than actually playing the game made me.
As I think it should, because the game itself, like, is kind of really stripped down and benign. I played a bunch of it, but I usually played it, like, in between other things, like,
Right.
on my phone. And I knew I didn't really care about it. And I'm not
It's,
one to buy microtransactions. But seeing the amount of just, like, oh, you can't get this thing, and there's an hour to craft an item. Because in addition to the hours it takes to build things, when you want to craft or upgrade items at the blacksmith, those will take hours.
Yeah, you get to wait.
Or you can pay them gems. That it's monetized to hell. And that doesn't make good experience at all. If you're trying to be a free-to-play person and you're playing this game that is clearly like, hey, just give us money, well, it's bad.
I will say, I don't know if we've got too much more to talk about on it, but
Yeah.
I did find it interesting that it ran better on my phone than the Switch, which kind of makes sense because like my phone is much newer hardware than the Switch is. But it ran worse on the Switch than I was expecting. Now it ran, like it never totally shit out on me or anything. But like I would load
I
into
I didn't run into any major bugs or anything.
Oh, because on my phone, it doesn't like loading.
Yeah.
You boot it up the first time and it'll just hang on the opening screen until you close it and reopen it again.
It would when I would go to a dungeon where it would just like stutter, or anytime I came back into town it would do the same thing where it just didn't like populating all the assets in. And I still don't know what the fucking guilds do.
Yeah, so there's a multiplayer component where you can join a guild. I made a guild, which, by the way, to make a guild, it charges you gems.
Yeah, of course it does.
So I spent my hard-earned free-to-play gems making a guild so that Guild Methuselah could ride again.
Clan Methuselah forever!
And yet, Jake couldn't find the guild.
Nope.
And I looked it up, and basically, the way that their, like, system works, it doesn't. People have talked about this many times, is that the clans are shown to you not by what you searched, but by what you searched modified by some ranking system that no one knows how it works.
What?
And so if a clan isn't, like, high enough ranked, they just won't list them, even if you're looking for
get
your friend's guild.
Fucked.
Now, in fact, this is the only reason why I had it on my phone in the first place, was because I was trying to find the clan, and I thought, well, he's on his phone. Like, maybe it's some weird shit. I just have to have it on my phone, and I'll find it that way. No, that's not how that worked at all.
Yeah, it is that part absolutely woefully designed. And there are parts of the game that are bad. There's parts of the game that I find medium. There's almost no parts of the game I find good. And then it's monetized to hell and back. It's a bad game.
Yep. I was actually gonna I was coming in today, thinking that like I might not hardline, not recommend this game like we do 90% of the things that we play. If you want to play, boring Skyrim, I was going to say, maybe play this in your free time. Don't reinforce this kind of behavior in game design and stuff. This game should be shunned and avoided for its practices and the way it was built. Fuck this game. Just hearing about this shit, it makes me angry.
See, I don't know. I, from time to time, will play free-to-play games on my phone. And I've said before, the same one I go back to year after year for years now, Puzzles and Dragons. It's like, you get little monster cards. It's like Pokemon, kind of. You have a team that you build. It's stupid, and like I will put in maybe $5, $1 every other year or so. I've been playing it for like 10 years now, like off and on. This game, man, if you have like, I don't know, a commute, you're on the bus. People still take buses, right, in these times? I don't know, probably not. If you used to have a commute where you're standing there and you need something idle and you want some like Elder Scrolls themed fuck about, it's fine so long as you're not the kind of person that is a real sucker for predatory microtransactions. Because if you think you are, just stay away from it. You can get through this entire game free. It's just going to take you a long time. And if you've got the time, whatever. And like Bethesda, they're not my favorite people, but I've played worse versions of this.
I mean, them being Bethesda, I think, is one of the reasons I don't want to support it. Not because like they're Bethesda, but they are one of the largest game companies in the world. These are all just reused assets. This is garbage money flip the game. I'm not for that.
Boring Skyrim, the game.
Like, if Bethesda wants to make a game, they could. They could make an actually, like, more interesting game.
Or they can re-release Skyrim.
Or they could re-release Skyrim on phones with microtransactions.
You're welcome.
We're welcome. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they could get Skyrim to work on some newer phones.
I would be surprised if they couldn't.
Yeah, I'd much rather just play Skyrim.
Yeah, because there's no way that Xbox fucking 360 is a better spec than my goddamn iPhone 11.
Right, I was like, I have a phone from this year.
Yeah.
I could probably play Skyrim. Can I just play Skyrim?
I mean, you
Skyrim
could always
Mobile becomes a reality thanks to Xbox Game Pass via the power of the xCloud and Xbox Game Pass. So yes.
Do you have to play it through a browser?
No,
I don't know.
Guessing it's one of these, because Xbox Game Pass has a like cloud computing thing, so I'm guessing it does a lot of the computing on the back end. No idea what the Xbox app is like on your phone. I'd have to check.
Ours would be a very different experience.
Correct.
Because of the way Apple does all of their shit. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things where I can't really like say anyone should really play this. I mean, if you like it well enough, because again, I didn't find the in-moment gameplay terrible other than finding it repetitive as all hell.
Yeah.
Right. We've played way worse stuff for the podcast in terms of pure gameplay.
Yeah, but it's so uninspired and so heavily monetized that I can't support it. Also, because we're like at the end, and I forgot about this and I wanted to bring it up. It does the terrible Skyrim scaling issue, and You're like, scaling issue? What are you talking about? Skyrim has a scaling to the player, right? If you go to a area, the enemies will be brought to around your level.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing for most Elder Scrolls games. That's been an issue for their games for a long time.
Yeah. Well, so it is a positive and negative thing. And in Skyrim, I can be convinced pretty easily that it's a positive. Part of Skyrim and the things that people like about it is your ability to explore wherever you are and wherever you want. If you want to ignore whatever they're talking about and turn right and just walk, you can see what they've built in all the kind of interesting, unique corners of Skyrim at any point. And at no point is the game going to just like kill you or be a joke.
I mean, the trolls would have something to say about that, but
Correct.
I get your point.
There
Yeah.
are bans to it, but yeah. So it lets players explore and kind of experience everything in a different order, which can be a positive thing. The thing is, this game doesn't have that. Because of the discrete quests, you have to do everything in the order they want. I ran into an issue where I did a bunch of events and did the Abyss, which we're not even going to talk about. It's a super dungeon that like has 150 levels. Gets harder every level you go down. That's all you need to know. So I did a bunch of like events and Abyss stuff, and I leveled up many times. My quests went from being like 2 skull difficulty to 4 to 5 skull difficulty because all of the enemies had been bumped up to the next tier, but I hadn't replaced my gear yet, and now I couldn't do the regular baseline quests to get new gear because they were so much harder.
That's some old bullshit, Granddad.
Yeah, it's a really bad design for this game because of its, again, linear nature. The story quest should have a pegged like difficulty level, and if you go above that, then it's going to be easy, but so what? That means you were, grinding, doing other things, or whatever.
Yeah, it seems weird that, especially on like, well, any of the different stages, the difficulty wouldn't cap out at a certain point.
Yeah, nope, they just keep scaling upwards till you're facing I can't remember, something angry tree matriarchs, and you walk up and they cast poison cloud, and you get to watch your health just vanish.
Just to have infinite revive potions, I don't understand. All right, well, if that's all that, then what do we do now?
Well, now we answer letters from listeners like you.
Let me find the pause button here. You?
All right, so here's some...
Life.
Nope. I was feeling extra lazy today, so I'm not even on mic. It's just podcast audio and me filling in a hole. Pelfion, how you doing, buddy? I was my thinky bits were just like fried, so the thought of trying to talk on stream, like it would have been an awful word salad. So I thought I would just we'll be radio with some Minecraft in the background. It's fine. Have you? I didn't know how it would play out. I haven't gotten any angry messages from Jason, so I don't think he cares. And as long as, he's good with me being lazy, I'm good with it. If you're doing a just work stream, what are you doing then? Hell yeah, that's sick. Do you read tarot or just something to mess with? And like, where's the thing? Hit the lights. Like, I got a deck of tarot cards right here, so like, believe me when I say no judgment for me. I'm into it. Hell yeah. I guess before I turn this back on, if we're gonna do another magic night, and if you'll have me back, which I wanted to say thank you last time for inviting me. That was fun. I'd never played Commander. But if you'll have me back, you'll have to show me that. Or I guess if you're working on it on stream, I could check out your stream. Talk to that rascally Jason. Oh, before I hit this, I wanted to ask, can you explain the Space Jam DVD? Hell yeah, man. Like, cause I was going around through the Discord, and I'm not active in mine, and I feel like a shit. Like I want to participate, but like I don't know what the fuck anybody's talking about ever. Although that's just me. As I'm looking, it's like Space Jam DVD. What the actual fuck? Okay. That sounds fucking magic.
Please don't text me when you're drunk. Ooh, or don't text me at all.
Space Jam DVD, 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 Space Jam DVD.
Please don't text me when you're drunk.
I have so many questions. Why does he have so many fucking Space Jam DVDs? That's gonna be stuck in my head for like the next week. Space Jam DVD, Space Jam DVD. Let's hop back to this. What do we got? Like 10 minutes left of Elder Scroll Blades, and then we're on to Code Vein.
Eek!
No, not like. Some food questions, I guess. Because the title of this email is Food, and then it opens, enough about games. How about food?
God damn it, but I'm already hungry.
Don't worry, these are stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that is really good.
Noodles and rice together.
What?
No.
How?
What's wrong with you?
I mean, like, I had Chinese food yesterday, and I had both lo mein and rice on my plate. So yes?
Yeah, like I'm not against it, but like, how do you mean? Yeah, is it like lo mein and rice just all mixed together? Is it like the pasta sides that you can get at the store? That it's
Orzo?
like, yeah, okay. Fucking rice and pasta cut into little fucking rice length. Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
I guess in
Yes.
Asian cuisine, yes. In other cuisine, no.
But you can damn near put anything on a plate and put it in front of me, and I'm gonna eat it. Cause
Especially if it tastes good. Like,
I mean, yeah,
this is random rice and noodles smothered in some, like, delicious garlic sauce. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Put it in my face.
my brother and I, we would, you know, sometimes there's not a whole lot to eat around the house, and so you just end up with a bunch of cans of like SpaghettiOs and canned spaghetti, and then you just dump all that into a pot, and then just eat that god awful mess. I mean, it's fine, it's noodles and sauce, right? But what we didn't take into consideration was the extra 6 quarts of sauce that we would now have. What do you do with that?
I don't
I'm
know.
assuming the answer is going to be pour over rice.
There is no answer. It's still sitting there. So much sauce.
All right. What about lemon on Doritos?
What kind of Doritos? Because I don't want lemon on ranch, but lemon on nacho cheese, you can talk me into it.
I just like, I don't understand the question.
Are there like any of the spicy ones?
Sure. I mean, there's ones that have like lime integrated. Well,
Yeah.
lime. And by
Yeah.
lime, I mean citric acid.
Lime flavorish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Citrus
I'll-
on chips is a thing.
I guess. I mean, if it's like regular corn chips, like you do like a squeeze of lime on them.
There's regular ass tortilla chips, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, salt and lime.
So it's
fuck
like
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but worse.
Yeah.
But cool ranch.
Do you have any crazy food combos you enjoy?
Ooh, yeah, I got a good one. Noodles on rice.
Extra sharp cheddar and raspberry jam.
Okay, that's not actually weird depending on who you're talking to, but
Right.
No. I'm going with no. I like food,
Well, yeah, but anything you're eating, you're also not considering it weird.
right? Like, I don't know. You put stuff on stuff. Eat it. It's probably tasty.
Put it in your face hole.
Yes.
I mean, like, I don't remember what episode it was, and it was talking about a potato chip sandwich.
Sure.
Which, like, I could see how people would think that's weird. It's just, like, regular ass Lay's on 2 pieces of bread. I believe you would call it a poverty sandwich, Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it's just potato chips, then yeah.
Yeah.
You
See,
just gotta get like a slice of cheese in there. Come on.
If you add potato chips make a great sandwich addition,
Fuck
right?
yes, they do.
Yeah, because you got whatever else you've got going, but it adds just crunch and salt, and it's great. Sometimes I put chips or fries, just anything that kind of adds that extra bit to a sandwich.
Yeah.
We're gonna end this episode with dumpling as well.
Oh, hell yeah. Everything comes back to dumplings.
God, I'm so hungry.
You have no idea. I'm just like, how do we order this food now?
At least I could.
Dumplings, dumplings, dumplings. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Cheers up 1,000 Shactus Fanboy 64.
Hey, Shactus.
It's a good name.
It harkens back to our first game ever.
Was the Shactus in the first game, or was it only in the remake?
The Shactus doesn't show up in the first game. The first game is very bad and like nothing. It's just like a straight fighting game that no one bothered to program. The second one with the brawler, they lean into the Shactus, Shack Diesel kind of nonsense.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that's that email. Thanks for that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, things you want read on the podcast, you email thebadgamecast@gmail.com. If you want to get hold of us anywhere else, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, Twitch, Discord, The Bad Gamecast. There should be links basically in the description of the podcast to all of those. Check us out. We're on Twitch every Monday through Thursday. And then a special shout out to all the Patreons, because we also have a Patreon to help support everything we do here. Thanks so much.
Yes, a special thank you to all of our patrons who keep the awful games a-flowing. Thank you guys. You're the fucking bestest. Well, for the Bad Gamecast. Wait, no, you can find me on Twitter @JakePray. I do that first.
Yep. You can find me on Twitter @FreyaFaust. Go read my book. It's now in paperback.
Now normal thing. All right, for the Bad Gamecast, I've been Jake.
I'm Dumplings.
Then pay with your blood.
Good night, everybody! Yeah, I got all excited because I was looking at the menu page for dumplings.
Oh, yeah.
Nepalese dumplings.
Oh, how many momos can I fit in me?
Many.
Challenge round?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually not kidding.
We have till 6:15, so
Yeah.
here, figure it out.
I don't know.
Hooty, hooty. Hoo-hoo.
What,
Speaking of, it's GDQ day right
Yeah, still gotta look through it, so just hit whatever.
now. I should kill this recording.
Oh,
yeah, so should we. Breasts, boobs, knockers, cans, tits, big uns, tiggle bitties, globes, melons, pound puppies, chesticles, sweater muffins, hooters, mounds, milk makers, milk duds, bazookas, gazongas, cones, sweater puppies, buds, duds, mosquito bites, bra stuffers, man's best
Did
friend,
you see Bra Stars?
bra stuffers.
Oh. I don't know if we say it in this episode. I'll do a little director commentary here. Jason opens with just a list of boobs, synonyms for breast, because it's an anime game, so it's jiggly the whole time, and we try really hard not to mention it in the game, which is mostly a joke for us. It's just stupid. Welcome back to the Bad Gamecast. This is Jake,
This is Jason.
and this time we played Code Vein,
Vein code.
or Anime Boobs the game.
Hey, you said it first. Well, not really, but
Well, really Released May 2019. Developed by Bandai Namco. Produced by or published by? I don't have that. I'm assuming published by them as well. You know, small studio that is Bandai.
Yeah.
Look at it notes. Other games that came out in 2019. We've covered
there's
it.
a lot of boobs
Anthem,
in it.
WWE 2K20, and Kingdom Hearts 3, and so many other games. Oh my God.
Good lord, there were a lot of games that year.
There were, and we've got to be getting through the list of all the goddamn games released in 2019.
As it turns out, gaming was a mistake.
Anyway, we're here with lead us in, man. I don't know what we're doing here.
You don't know what we're doing here? I don't know what we're doing here. What are we talking about? Code Vein? Vein Code.
Veiny somethings?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a anime because it's the year of anime. Forgot to announce that.
Oh, that's right. It's the year of anime.
And what does that mean? Nothing. Actually nothing. But what it does mean is that we're basically going to be playing a anime game like every month till the end of time. Oh, till the end of the year. There's, as it turns out, a lot of them. Bad ones.
A lot of bad ones.
Why did we pick this one to start with? Because honestly, I'm giving up the goose here. It's probably the best one that we're going to play this year.
Probably let's I guess we'll get this out of the way. I like Souls games. This plays like a Souls game. Oh no.
Yeah, so this is anime Dark Souls. And when people say that, they're like, what do you mean? Well, I mean, it's anime Dark Souls.
Yeah.
The gameplay is that kind of Souls-like. I mean, Jake is the expert on the Souls-like gameplay, but you're a character, you've got so many weapons, you're kind of exploring an area that has enemies just kind of milling about as you explore and stuff. They hit hard, so it's difficult. Kind of, there's a block and a parry to control combat. You fight your way to like a boss and then boss fight to unlock like next area.
Yeah, a stamina meter that governs your combat and dodging and blocking, a shared currency for buying things and leveling. I want to say exploration, but we'll get into that.
When you die, you go back to the last missile?
Yeah, you go back to the bonfire when you
go
die.
back to the bonfire, but you don't lose anything if you can get back to where you died.
When you rest, all the enemies respawn.
Yeah. Does this all sound familiar?
You know, Souls-like.
Yeah. But then it takes a fresh coat of anime and just rubs it on there.
In one main spot in particular.
The story. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So your character that you get to make, I'm gonna try to just do story, and we'll get back to this because there's diversions. But you make a character; they are your character. You can name them whatever you want. Your character is undead, and I know that sounds dumb because like all the other characters are vampires, but you're extra undead.
Yeah, I mean, at the start of the game, you were kind of the vampire of vampires at this point.
Kinda.
Well, that's not. I mean, it is, but not quite what I mean.
Yeah. So in this world, a person's abilities are defined by their blood code, which this starts to sound really awkward when I say that a person's abilities are defined by their blood. Not like that.
No.
Retreat. So,
like you can throw fire or are good with a sword.
Oh no.
Those wait.
All right.
Let's start over. The whole thing's got tits up.
We're gonna slide right past the idea that like who you are and your abilities are controlled by your blood because they're vampires. Well, they're revenants.
They are vampires. They were given the vampirism. Well, they were given immortality and the thirst for blood from the boar parasite that is in their heart.
Yeah.
Which is what causes them to regenerate when they die, so long as their heart's not destroyed.
So you were a vampire, revenant, whatever, and you died. You got shot through the chest and died.
Shot through the heart.
Just like that. But then you woke up.
You got better.
Yeah. And as it turns out, you now have the null blood code. It's magic. So basically, every person whose blood you like drink, you gain their powers or the ability to use their powers.
Yeah.
It's the skill system, like or class system, I suppose I should say more accurately.
But they both kind of work here.
Kind of, but yeah. So you have the null code. You wake up next to Her name is Io. She has no memories as well. She's there to help you. You guess.
She's wearing a, how does one put this? Tattered doily?
I was gonna say shredded nightgown. She doesn't change clothes the entire game, even when you get to like a place where you have like you're a home base, which really seems inconvenient. Anyway, you wander into a group who are just like, we're taking all these people and putting them in the mines to find us some. First, Io like bites your wrist and you bleed on a tree and it does magic.
Yep, it does tree blood magic, yep.
Yeah, because you're special. So then these bad guys are like, hey, we're trying to find some blood beads, which are just like, they're a source of blood from trees that you, like the one you bled on. The vampires can drink them instead of humans to satiate their thirst for a period of time.
Yes.
So they're trying to find some blood beads because they're being taxed, I guess.
Yes.
Look, none of this matters because once you go through,
I will explain it when appropriate, if it comes up.
the guy you're with, he gets slashed in the face and his gas mask breaks. Oh, by the way, everyone's wearing gas masks because there's this like miasma that slowly corrupts your body.
It sends all of the vampires into a frenzy. And once they get into a frenzy, they turn into a monster.
Yeah. So he gets his gas mask broken. He's like, go on, I'll be fine. Which is like such obvious storytelling that he's not going to be fine. You clear the thing, you run into...
Oliver, no!
this is where you run into Lewis.
Yeah.
And he's just like in there, just like, hey, I could use some help.
Louis just hanging out.
Yeah. And you're like, sure, I'll help you. And you clear the rest of the place and you get back to the top and Oliver's like, rage mode. And you put him in the dirt.
I guess again. Oliver, no!
Yeah. And Lewis is like, hey, you were useful. You want to come help me doing my stuff?
Well, the vestige part of Oliver's memory fallout, right?
Yeah.
And then the vestiges call to all the vampires around, like they could hear the voices, the memories that are trapped inside this little crystal.
Oh,
which,
and they like drive you mad.
yeah, they like instantly drive them insane. But your character just picks it up. It, I don't know, sea urchin harpoons its way through your hand, and then you absorb it. And everybody gets to walk through his memories.
Yeah, because so he warns you that, like, hey, don't touch that vestige. Like, it will drive you into insanity and turn you into a monster. And you just pick it up. And you're like,
Cool story, Louis.
cool. And then it absorbs into your body, and you're like, that was fun. Now what? And he's like, hold up, we have to go, because
Holy shit, what was that?
Louis is studying the blood beads. And that's his excuse for being out there. And he's like, what the fuck are you? I need to study you. Come back to base with me.
He's trying to find an active source for blood beads because the missile trees that form the blood beads are all drying up and dying.
Yes. So you go back to base. Now you're at home base. God, I couldn't be bothered to care about any of this.
Home base is where you have your shops, the guy that lets you go through the depths.
Yeah, old Excite bike.
Yeah, old Excite bike. Everyone has a tragic backstory we're not going to get into.
Yep. You go to places. Like, the next thing is like, you head towards the ruins of the city. You go through like a parking garage.
Yeah.
There's a guy, another vampire who's trying to capture a human woman, and you save her for reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because humans are being kept basically as cattle.
Not all of them. There are like human settlements where they donate blood to live there peacefully. And then there are the random human stragglers that the rogue vampires that are out wandering around just use them like cattle.
Yeah. And she's really trying to escape like back to a human settlement.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, nah, you belong to us. And you're like, I'll save you, I guess. Your character never speaks. You're the silent protag type.
Love that.
So, I don't know. It's weird because, like, the gameplay is what I know, and it doesn't connect to the story basically at all.
No.
You fight some
really.
giant butterfly, spider mouth-tailed woman, or scorpion mouth-tailed woman. She has no arms. You kill her. Some dude turns to sand or something. I don't know.
That's also true.
That's when, not Louis. What's the other dude?
Fuck Yojimbo, Yokohana.
Yeah. That's when he pulls out the Glock.
Yeah, that is when he pulls out the Glock. You're gonna leave her alone.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Didn't know that man had a gun. Why can't I have a gun?
I mean, him and Louis have got him in the chest holsters.
Yeah,
literally the whole time.
They got these, like, you know, you can use a gun in that you get a rifle, but he's just got, like, a straight-up handgun. It's like, blah. Damn, dude. Is there anything else that happens with the story at that point?
Touching moment with the human lady when Louis like, it's okay, girl, come on out.
Yeah.
Here, kitty, kitty. And she's like, get the fuck away from me. And he's like, look, I don't give a shit about you. Here's the like way to get to a human settlement. If you need help, we'll take you. Go about your merry way. And she's like, wait, really? And he's like, yeah, like, we're not going to feed on you. We good. Here you go. We just wanted to help you. And she's like, that's okay. And then fucks off. And you run into her again when she like comes back to the home base. Be like, thank you. I just didn't trust you guys because you're the only vampires that I've run into that didn't just want to immediately feed on me.
Yeah. This whole time, all of your, like, anyone you talk to in your team, you get their blood code to try to use. This leads you to go somewhere else. I mean, like, the next level I know is the underground sunken city. I don't remember what you do down there. You fight people and you unlock memories.
Well, the underground section is where it's the fish tits.
Yeah.
The fighting stripper is.
She seriously is like a, I don't want to say mer person. She looks more like Swamp Thing.
Yeah, Swamp Thing was much more feminine, and they were going for sultry.
Yeah, and then does literally has a like harpoon and does a stripper move on it. It's weird.
It was weird.
But then you kill her because you know Zweihander got a Zweihand.
That's what you do with bosses. You put them in the dirt.
Yeah, after they beat you up a bunch.
Shit ton.
Because that happens.
From there, you move on to the Funtime Cliffs of I don't know, Brotherhood. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, the cliffs where you clear through the whole thing, and then do you run into what's his name and what's her name yet?
Is it the end of here? No, you run into Jack, well, the hunter.
Yeah.
And Mia when you're down in the underground section. Because
Sure.
Jack's after Mia's brother.
Okay. Yes.
No, because you're supposed to do the cliffs first, I think. Not that it doesn't really matter because you can do them in any order, but...
No, any order. These two. These are the only two that you can...
Yeah, because it's... you can do one before the other one, and after that, it's pretty fucking linear.
Yeah, because after this, yeah, you get Mia, and Jack is doing his whole thing, because no matter which one you chose, at this point, you have to go to the cathedral, right?
Yeah.
So, like, ooh, a split decision. It's not a decision. You do one, you go to the cathedral. The cathedral's obnoxious. It's very white and very circular.
It is labyrinthian and huge. And it sucks.
At one point, you have the option to go back in time and play through some of your memories, which I did, and they're boring. You learn about Jack. The hunter is Jack. He's the one who killed you.
That bastard.
In the past, you fought the queen of vampires because she had gone crazy with the madness, and she's killing everyone, and so you and Jack fight her. It goes not great until old Big Papa Silva comes up, and he does some weird
He does shield magic. It's his
shield
thing.
magic, and then you fight her again. It still doesn't go great, but then you use your big old talon claw to just drive into her and I guess absorb some of her latent power.
Yeah, the claws and scorpion tail and etc. The abilities you get from the armor are all to drink blood without biting things.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just absorb the blood from her.
At which point, like, she is defeated, but then they kill you, but they don't kill you, because obviously you come back. They kill you by, he shoots you, like, in the heart, and you fall off a cliff all dramatic.
Yeah, and like you dust as you hit the bottom, so like you should be dead. Is this when you find out that the queen can't actually die?
I think that's later, but...
Well, it's at the cathedral, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the cathedral, this is where you run into Lewis's sister? What is her relationship with that nerd?
They know each other. They don't have a relationship.
Nice.
Karen's Louis' sister.
So who's the lady who's the source of the trees?
That's Louis' sister.
Yeah.
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 No, I was thinking the backwards leg wolf lady.
Who?
The guardian that tells you that the queen can't die.
Oh, sure.
You know, the six-armed wolf with the backward legs?
Yeah, the
Don't worry. It is just that clear.
protector of the ribs.
Yeah.
Because, so what you learn is that the queen, can't die. Basically, they chopped her into pieces, and then each piece was molded into / became they call them successor, and they're like relics that are people that have these crazy powers based on the queen to make sure she doesn't come back.
Yeah, in order to stop the queen because she just keeps getting back up, they had to cut her into pieces and then jam the pieces into an artifact and put those artifacts inside a person who is now the successor. The successor's only job is to hold on to this and basically sleep for eternity so the queen can't reform. The only thing is, while them having these relics does make them stronger, it also makes them frenzy faster, potentially.
Yeah, so that's the old wolf-faced lady.
Yeah, Queen Amidala, whatever her name is.
Yeah, and then you find that Karen, Louis' sister, is the source of the blood trees or something.
Queen of the blood
And
trees.
he was like, I knew it. And you're like, I don't know what this has to do with anything. Because the blood trees, they're relevant, but at this point, not really, because you're kind of dealing with, queen shit.
Yeah, once you get through like the first 3 areas, no one ever talks about fucking blood beads again, and that they need them.
Right? Now it's like, oh, right, the immortal queen and her power that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool, glad that whole side plot was just abandoned. Or resolved, don't really know. Karen
I
doesn't...
mean, no, it wasn't resolved.
Karen just stays there forever.
Yeah.
Cool. At some point, you have to run into what's his name again and his helper,
Jack.
Jack.
And I think her name's Eva.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got one defining feature like most female characters do in this game. It's her hair.
Yeah. So, you learn that they're basically trying to keep track of the successors and the relics. Because he jams one inside of her.
Yeah, yep.
And they fuck off. You're like, well, that's not good.
Well, that's not good. Yeah, you learn that the reason why Jack was after... because you go from there to the ice mountaintop. Yeah. You learn that Jack was after Mia's brother because he's a successor, and she didn't know that. And it's Jack and Eva's responsibility to make sure all the successors are doing what they're supposed to do, and he has to stop them if they begin to frenzy. He's got to dust a bitch, and then they take the relic out, jam into Eva, and she holds on to it until they find a new successor.
Yeah, which they never bothered to explain. They just kind of threaten you early in the game.
Yeah.
They don't bother to explain this at all. And then, later, which... so you go through the whole ice area, and that's Mia's brother, who you kill, and then... Oh, right. Every time you kill one of these people, you absorb the relic because, you're super special, awesome, good.
Yeah.
So you then absorb the relic, and, the next time... I don't know, is it the desert? Desert comes before Flaming City, right?
Yes.
So I think it's the desert.
Does it?
I don't know.
Either way.
You finally run into... because Ava bursts into your home base.
Yeah, you're right.
And is like, you have to help Jack. And she explains that whole thing about them, helping you. Oh, no, the desert's later then. Because the desert's when she frenzies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the other way around. It's Flaming City, then Desert.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, or is it? Yes.
Yeah, because at the end of the desert, then you get to secret bad guy Mito, and then from there to provisional government headquarters.
Yeah. So I guess it's Flaming City, so you're going to try to help / save Jack from himself. There's the Dark Cathedral in here somewhere, and I don't remember where.
Is it Dark Cathedral?
Kind of, although that's the one that's right before, or is that the inside of the
Yeah.
provisional government?
Well, that's leading up to the entrance to the provisional government, yeah. Yeah, that's the government fortress or whatever.
Yeah, look, these levels are not great and very forgettable. Basically, you go and you clear some more relics, and as you do, you run into Jack, and you're like, hey, dude, we're actually on the same team. And when he realizes that, the secret big bad Mito shows up. Mito is like, I am using the relics to experiment on people and build an army of super soldiers. He's a bad guy. Bad guy gonna bad guy.
He wants bad guy things, yeah.
Yeah, right. When you accuse him of wanting to resurrect the queen, he just laughs because he doesn't care. He just wants super soldiers because he's a bad guy.
Well, he wants to... I guess we didn't cover it because it almost never comes up. This takes place in the God Eater universe.
That doesn't explain anything to me.
He doesn't give a shit about the queen. He wants to get some of the blood and DNA from the, what do you call the giant monsters, the Arimasa, the horrors, out that are beyond the red wall, which we haven't talked about at all.
Yeah, basically, planet is kind of like Earth, kind of. And then giant monster horrors pop into existence and start destroying the planet.
Because God Eater reasons.
Yeah, the queen and the vampires were actually made to fight the giant monsters. monsters. And they did, but then the queen went all nutso crazy, and when she started slaughtering everyone, monsters, humans, vampires, and all, one of the things that was done was there's this giant red mist that is a giant wall to fence in the vampires and the queen to make sure they can't get out.
Yeah, which serves a dual purpose of making sure that none of the vampires are out among the general populace of the world. It also keeps the giant horrors from the world out.
Yeah, so despite being part of this universe, they create a reason for it to be not part of that universe.
Yeah, what do they call it? The like stupid jail or something, and they spell it Gaol, which I guess is technically the proper spelling of it, but it makes me irritated.
Sure.
So it's like
once again,
gall to me.
I don't know how they pronounce things because I turned off the voices. I actually didn't turn off the sounds mostly, but I did turn off the voices. So I assume it was Gall of the Mists.
No, it's jail.
Nope.
I'm with you.
Because let me tell you, when you're out and about just doing things, you can bring a person with you, right? You can have Lewis, Tashimoto, or whatever his name is. Mia or Io, and they have to comment on literally everything you do.
They talk a lot.
Hey, I see you fighting a person there. Yeah, it'd be great if you helped. They help. Wow, we defeated that person. All right, let me look at my inventory. Checking your inventory? Stops checking my inventory. Oh, you're done with your inventory? Please just die.
Hey, look at the thing over there. I sure hope there's no one around. I'm hungry. Ah.
Yeah, they're miserable, so turning off them talking made the game much better. So I don't know how things are supposed to be pronounced. Anyway, where were we? Something about Jack.
Mito's master plan.
Mito's master plan to create super soldiers and something about getting to the horror monsters. Who cares? After monologuing a bunch with Jack saying things and Lewis saying a few things, and you standing there very silent like, he's like, well, you know, you should probably check on Mia considering she's going crazy. Jack's like, what? And he teleports out of there.
Yep.
That's when you go to the desert, because the desert reminds her of home.
Yep.
Which is where she would go to turn into a crazy person. You get to her and kill her, and she has some touching moment with Jack or something.
Oh yeah, hers is the weird angel thing with the like
Sand arms.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah, they have some touching moment about he helped her find her voice and live in the world and blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
And they always loved each other.
Yeah, and then she's dead.
Oh.
And he's all like, oh, something. I'm now super sad. And you just grab the orb and just absorb the relic.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, what the fuck? And you're like, yeah, I could do this all day.
Yeah, that's the thing I could always do. You never asked about it, punk bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. Why didn't you try communication, dumbass?
Which is saying a lot since your character doesn't speak.
Yeah. But your eyes really tell that story.
That's true. They are super expressive. The eyes are the window to the soul, after all. And at this point, you've got like 9 of them.
You then you head into the provincial city government or whatever.
Yep.
You clear through that, and because you're now you're just chasing after Mito.
Mm-hmm.
You eventually catch up to him, and he talks. He double grandstands about his plan. You accuse him of wanting to resurrect the queen. He's like, nah, son or woman. And then he's like, these are my best super soldiers. Fight, cannoneer, and blade, woman. Bearer. That's it. I knew it was alliteration.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. An ice saber and a fire cannon. And
Yeah.
I go Mega Man up in this bitch.
You eventually beat them, and then you just kill Mito.
Well, not before Mito tells you his master plan of he doesn't give a shit about the queen. He wants to stop Silva.
Correct.
So the wall comes down.
Silva is still out there. He is the source of the Wall of Mist, because he's got barrier magic.
That bastard.
But then you kill Mito. Bleh.
Well, after he successfully frenzies Silva by just shooting relics at him from a distance, which get absorbed into Silva.
Not even like a little distance. He shoots these things like across a city.
Yeah,
Fucking
Silva
homing relics.
just takes it to the face like a champ, goes down, and you get a cutscene where the wall comes down, and all the vampires are like, we're free! And then a giant god eater monster shows up, and they go, oh, fuck! And then they start running back while they get torn apart, and then the wall shows back up, and Mito's like, son of a bitch!
Yeah.
You can't stop Silva. That's how he do.
So you are then you need to go deal with whatever Silva is going to do.
Impressive anime eyebrows, Silva.
Yeah, because he can't hold this up forever. He's going to frenzy, and when he does, the barrier will definitely drop. He'll also be really powerful. So you're going after Silva now.
You gotta stop him because Silva as is a fucking beast.
Which takes you through, like, yeah, the fortress, Dark Tower, into the final zone, the Jail of the Mists, where
Yeah.
you fight the final boss.
Oh yeah, down in a Blood Lake.
Yeah, there's a literal lake of blood with like pumps going up to this giant throne. It wants to look cool, and it really looked dumb as hell to me.
Yeah, well, the reason is, and all the reason why the vampires out there needed to pay their taxes in blood beads was because it all gets dumped here, so Silva can keep fed and keep his energy up to keep the wall going.
So the taxes did have a point.
Yeah, they did.
Still dumb.
Yeah, well, it's like that plan worked great in the beginning.
Astro.
And then, as time went on, and then the missiles started drying out, and then it got to be a real bitch. Only you need to keep him fed, although at this point, nobody quite remembers why.
So you fight him as the final boss, and you get one of 3 endings. So the endings are controlled by...
He wasn't my final boss, you son of a bitch.
The endings are controlled by, as you're going through the games, you can restore the memories of the people, of the, what are they called? Successors. And if you restore their memories before you fight them, you have the option to talk to them before they dustify. If you do that, so if you do 0, you get the bad ending. That's me because I skipped all of this nonsense plot. And what happens at the end is once you kill Silva, the 3 relics pop out of him, and you absorb all 3 of them. And then you go, well, basically you've absorbed all, like, whatever, however many pieces of the queen now. You are just the queen. And you start, this blue energy starts flying off your body as you're like, time to kill everyone. And then Lewis just kills you in one hit,
Oh, bullshit.
right? I would have put that dude in the dirt.
Right? It didn't take the first time. What the fuck does he think he's gonna do now?
So he stabs you once and you just fall over dead. At which point Lewis now is going to sit on the throne and do the red wall of mist forever, I guess. They don't explain how he knows how to do that, because he doesn't.
It's not important.
And like, that's it. That's the end. Your character's dead. The world sucks. Which I thought was a really bad ending. It's just kind of like, I think a better ending for the bad ending would be you kill everyone.
Yeah,
Just you go full queen and just murder everyone. Whoops.
but like, why didn't they just point the queen towards the giant monsters on the outside and let her go run a rampage out there?
I don't know.
I mean, they make it a point of saying there's no coming back once something's frenzied, but like, do they know that?
Not really.
Because like, I don't.
Every time someone frenzies, you just cut their head off. So like,
Yeah. Well, you just dust a bitch. Buffy up in this motherfucker. Or you accidentally get one of the successors like I did, and it takes anywhere from 1 to almost all of them, and then you get the neutral ending. So
Yes.
the final boss fight for me wasn't Silva. It was Silva's beast form, and boy howdy does that thing fucking bring it. And the ending, the neutral ending is your character takes the throne, and they keep the wall up while Io monologues to you about how she loves you and will always be there for you, and how even though her mission as a what do they call them, attendant, her mission as an attendant, which we didn't even bother to talk about, strayed from the rest of them, she knew in her heart she did the right thing as she turns, I assume, to dust, but she just looks like a statue sitting there, because everyone else, when they turn to dust, they fall into a pile, but she like retains her shape while she holds your hand. And I don't remember what happens with the good ending.
the good ending is, I'm looking at it right now. Blah, blah, blah.
Like, I watched a cutscene and it went on for fucking ever.
Oh, no, it literally isn't telling me what happens. It's just telling me how to unlock it. There's an additional secret 4th ending.
Yeah, the true ending.
Because the Dweller in the Dark is if you do all the successors. And then if you do all of the successors and Io, there's a additional ending. Where, I don't know, stuff happens. Good things probably or something.
Maybe.
Who cares? So as you can see, to get these endings, you have to do them as you're playing, which is why it's not like you can save right before and like try a different ending.
Yeah.
It happens while you're playing, so you have to either New Game Plus or play through the whole game again, and that wasn't happening.
Nah. Which, like, as I said, like, and we'll get more into it, but, like, I would be interested in running through it again, but we didn't have time for me to do that by the time we were going to record.
Yeah.
And, like, I would do a New Game Plus, but I might have cheat engined my way to max level after I'd finished it, just to see what that was like. It's pretty good. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Perfect. Yeah, so rewinding. all the way to you make your own character. You actually have a lot of options in some places in this game.
Yeah, they give you a pretty decent suite to make whatever anime face you want to make.
Yeah, so my character had a pink and blue short haircut. She had one eye was a green lizard eye. The other eye was pink and stars. She had a bunch of I would say
We are talking about Code Vein.
black spots all over her face. You never got to see she had gold lipstick, and then she had a blue camouflage rhino horn. Because, as is tradition, I tried to make a female character that looked as weird as I could, and I stopped because I could have made her way weirder as soon as I got to the blue camo rhino horn, because I saw, this is perfect. This is all I need. It makes the game so much less serious.
Well, so I didn't spend too much time on my character's face. I think I probably picked the default one and then started working from there. I did spend a lot of time really handcrafting the eyes, which he had, purple cat eye slit eyes. But I had to get the light reflecting anime dots just right. His hair was kind of like normal anime protag spiky, and he had cat ears. Because they made me a little cat boy.
So this is some of the stuff. Like, as he was saying, you actually get to pick the lens flare of light on your eyes.
Yeah.
Whether it's, large or small, lines, harsh, circles, stars. There is at least 30 options for lens flare on your eyes.
And at that point, you can go in and dial it in even further.
There is also only like 10 different base faces to use.
Yeah.
So it's weird that some things they give you so many options for. Or, as I said, you never got to see, my character had gold lipstick because half of your face is covered with a gas mask, of which there are 8.
Or you have 40 different accessory options, which you can change and resize and move where they are. But you have 5 different clothing options.
Yeah.
Which you can palette swap them, but
that's it.
That's it.
It's so very weird, the things that they let you do, give yourself not just a horn, because you can make them up to a dozen, and again you can resize them and recolor them and move them to be at the front of your head or out of the side of your head. You can take the antlers that they want you to use on top of your head, hey, these are fun Christmas decorations, and you can turn them upside down, drop them down, and flip them back so you have antlers coming out of your back like wings.
Huh.
That is a thing you can do, but anything that's on your face is just hidden by your gas mask.
Yeah. Well, anything below the bridge of your nose.
Yep. It just feels odd. It's if you're going to give me that much character customization, why am I not going to get to see it most of the time?
Well, that's what I thought was weird. Not the faces necessarily, because yes, like you had said, it's all behind a gas mask. And I didn't spend that much time on dude's face. Teefs Mackenzie, if you're wondering. I couldn't give him fangs that protruded out of his lips in a way that I thought looked good, which is why I named him Teefs in the first place, because that's what I was gonna do. But it is a real interesting mix, and it isn't given the because it's got a giant array of colors that you can go through. So even the limited clothing options, you can personalize it pretty much how you want it to look. It just sucks that you're stuck with these 5 styles. But it's weird that you have so many options in one area and very limited in another, and there is no in between. It's fucking everything or nothing. But that tool set that they give you, you can do a lot with it.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of impressive.
No, if I ever dial up this game again, it's because I'm going to be playing around in the character creator. And I guarantee people already have made some insane, there is 0% chance that someone did not make a character that's just Darth Maul.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
And I hope with giant ass anime eyes.
Yes. So character creator, definitely a plus. The gameplay, I don't know how much you want to dissect the Souls-likeness of it.
Okay. For comparison, it feels more like Bloodborne. While you have a variety of weapons, which I have umbrage with, the weapon variety in itself, and a decent amount of skills, I will give him that. By the time that you're done, all these skills that you unlock, because the different blood codes do play as different classes. However, you can unlock bits from each one and then use it wherever. So you can almost just pick your main quote-unquote class and then mix and match all the skills from other stuff, which is an awkward system, but I liked it.
There are some restrictions that you can't use your great sword ability enemies with a gun.
Yeah, or some blood codes have specific skills that you can't use outside of that. Like Louis is Prometheus, and he's got this sword move that it buffs your attack for every consecutive hit, but you can't use that outside of his blood code, which sucked because that's the only one I wanted. But the combat, you can dodge, you can block, you can parry. There is no setup for you to be able to tank hits. It wants you to move. The combat is supposed to be fast-paced, which I didn't mind. My normal build for Souls-like games is a dex build anyway, so I would much rather be dodging. I don't block. I'm used to not being able to take a hit because I want to be able to roll. But it feels weird that you don't have an armor option for that option. Like, it sucked being mid-game where it feels like you should be like toe-to-toe on par with these enemies and you getting two-shot because they hit so hard.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever a point in the game where you can ever take a hit, like, well.
No.
Just period. It is not designed for that. Because there is no armor. And you'd think that, like, the armors that they have, they have different weights and stuff, which will slow down or speed up how quick you can roll. So I was using a greatsword, Zweihander, and it is one of the slowest weapons in the game. But I got my roll speed from slow down to normal by wearing a very light piece of armor. And you'd think that there would be, I don't know, like a heavy piece of armor that was a lot of weight, but gave you, made you take a lot less damage. Not even a lot less, but made you, tankier, but obviously would slow down your rolls. That doesn't exist.
No, because the stats on the armor has nothing to do with defense, which is weird. The entire game I used a sword. The sword that you start with, a regular one-handed sword. I just upgraded it through the whole game, and I would try different stuff. Like, it gets through, you get boss weapons, and like I would spend some upgrade points because, fucking extra souls, who gives a shit, or blood echo, or it's not blood echoes, it's Bloodborne. It's touchy-feelies? What is it in this game?
I don't know. It's some shimmery thing.
Yeah, anyway, it's whatever your souls are in this game. Plenty to burn because it's you get a lot of it, and at every area you go, you get more and more, and then they throw a lot of enemies at you, so you just end up with a shit ton. Also, the items that you consume to give you more souls, they dump those at you. Like, at no point is do you really have to go out of your way to grind for levels?
Yeah, the levels is such a weird thing because apparently max level's 300, and like I don't know, I beat the game. I think it was 138.
Yeah, I was around there myself.
Like you have so many points, you just pour them into levels. But I gotta say, the levels don't feel relevant.
No, because it isn't like you get you level up and then you get like a skill point to dump somewhere.
Yeah,
you have all the stuff that you picked, so your health might go up a little bit, and you might do an extra point of damage per swing.
Yeah, so that'll be like, oh, you leveled up. Well, what do you get? And it'll be 1 health and 1 extra damage.
Yeah,
and you're like, wow, that's not good.
Worth it. Yeah, but so even though you can't tank things, I mean, you do have the option for different play styles. Like, I was going speedy, smack, in and out. Jason, you were going heavy weapon.
Yeah, through basically the whole game, depending on where I was in upgrading my weapon. Because when you start a new area where you're getting, like, the new material, I would be slightly behind, but once I got enough of it to start upgrading again, I would scoot up to... I would kill all basic enemies in about 2 hits. Here's a guy, blam, blam, he's dead now. Sometimes it took 3, obviously, as I said, when I was at the beginning of a level. But yeah, so I was just this big hitter, which then, was fine enough for bosses. I made their health vanish, but sometimes I would just get rushed and like stun locked.
Yeah.
As I'm like, I'm so slow. It did help a lot. I think by the end game, I was a lot better. I cleared through most bosses pretty quickly. Part of that, I think, was getting my dodge speed down to normal.
Yeah.
It just made it a lot easier to dodge through stuff.
I can only imagine. I mean, nobody likes fat rolling. That shit sucks. Yeah, in addition to the weapons, you've got the gun, the charged attack for that actually shoots a projectile, which, depending on the which bayonet you pick, it will shoot like a sniper rifle or spread like a shotgun. There's also the magic you can use. Depending on the skills that you pick, you have active and passive ones. Some of them do magic or apply an effect, or I don't know. They do a variety of shit.
Yeah, most of mine were just like, there's a buff that just raises my attack stat for like 30 seconds a minute, and it took, half of my spell points. Sorry, my Ichor, except they call it something wrong.
Do they?
Yeah, they pronounce it like Icor or something.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Which is part of the reason. Turn off voices. They're bad at it. But it took half of my Ichor because I was playing, a heavy weapons class. I didn't have much. I had 10.
Yeah, whereas I had a lot, but the skills I would use were all like this flourish, that flourish, and then a ranged attack to have one.
Yeah, so after the buff, the only ones I would use was there was just a big, a dashing swing, which let me cover distance quickly, as well as then just the big 3-hit combo, which cost 5 as well, but did 3 big hits in a row, and that made people vanish.
Well, by the end of the game, I had the one where it cost 10, but you slowly regen health for whatever damage that you took, which was nice.
Sounds nice.
And it lasted a surprisingly long time, but I would think that it should because it could potentially use your entire Ichor available.
Yeah, if I had that, I would have to use it, and then I wouldn't be able to do anything until I started fighting people again.
Yes, but your special magic points, the Ichor, you can increase up to a certain amount if you do the charged attacks with your, what do you call the armor bids?
Those were blood veils.
With your blood veil, yeah.
Which were dope looking attacks, but I really just like how it was set up. You said this was a thing where you don't, they say in the game it's a backstab. You have to be behind the enemy, but you don't need to be behind the enemy.
Yeah.
You need to be behind and slightly to the side of the enemy.
Yeah, I had said when we were playing this together early on, it's a Soulsborne thing where you're never directly behind him for the backstab. You have to be slightly off to the side.
And that it feels bad. The hit detection on that never felt good to me.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it would change depending on the enemy, because the normal everyday scrub enemies, I could get it consistent almost every time. But then you get to the bigger, weirder shaped enemies, and that it didn't feel consistent. Like the big lady with the hammer or giant sword or whatever. It was always awkward.
Yeah. So that increased your Ichor until you rested again, at the maximum amount, and you got back some every time you just hit an enemy.
Yeah.
So
the class I was the Queen Breaker. It would start at 20. I could get it up to, I want to say 40, but I think it was 36.
I have no idea what I topped out at because I never got close.
No.
I was bad at backstabbing.
I mean, I'd usually be somewhere around 30. I could do it enough times going through that it would get up to where I could just keep using skills, but it was also never something I was actively paying attention to.
I basically never used skills. Hit them with the big stick.
I mean, I watched you do it, and it seemed like it was working just fine.
It did. Yeah, it's not bad, but not great. We've talked about outside of the podcast, but one of the things that Dark Souls does very well is animation canceling, which is basically whenever you do something, you have the option to stop doing it, to dodge or block. And you don't really in this game.
Yeah, to a certain point, and then depending on the weapon.
Well, it's you definitely can't animation cancel healing.
Yeah.
You hold your hand over your heart and it goes boom boom, and then you slowly heal. But you can't, if you put your hand over your heart and you see them coming to hit you, if you hit dodge, your character doesn't do anything. They're locked in the healing. This is what they're gonna try to do.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yep.
Because I'd had it when I was trying to change weapons for variety's sake. I would use the sword, and there was no swing in the sword I couldn't dodge out of. And then looking online, if I was trying to go with a dex build, I should use the halberd or some long weapon. And I started using it, and once I started swinging, I had to commit to the swing. That was life now, which felt super weird. Why can't I dodge out of this?
Greatsword is very much the same way. It's once the attack starts, big overhead attack, as soon as your blade comes up over your head, until it hits the ground, you can't dodge again, which is not great. It's not the worst, and the game isn't particularly difficult.
No.
So it's not oh man, so this is the end of me. It's just frustrating.
And I think that's what floored me the most. The levels themselves are the game is anime as shit looking, and I think the character design, except for the repetitive themes we'll go with, and the background art is done well and it looks nice, but the levels are all very linear. And one of the things I really like in Soulsborne games is exploration, which you don't get get here.
Not at all. Unless you're trying to get the good ending and like 100% explore everything. But even then, it's not like exploring. It's come to an area, there's a fork, go down both sides of the fork.
Or in a lot of those forks, they meet up at the same point, so just do a loop, assuming there's no like drop off, so you can actually get up, or you don't have to try and find a way up or whatever.
Like, that's the whole thing. There's not really exploration to be done. As we said, after the first, like, areas where you can potentially do 2 different areas, that's the only time you can do that. Every level from then on out is just the next level. Do this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. I don't know. It felt really linear to me, which, like, in itself isn't a bad thing.
No. I actually didn't hate that, because, I mean, I don't always want a 600-hour fuck about. Like, it was kind of nice in that it was focused. But I was also expecting more.
I get that.
Because, like, the levels are kind of short.
Some of them are really short. I don't even, like, it felt weird. I don't remember which one it was that I cleared the whole thing, and it felt like 10 to 15 minutes. I was like, oh, this is the boss. Oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like the mountaintop, you go up the mountain, doesn't take you that long, and then you go around a corner and you're basically at the boss. Yeah, okay. Or the desert's super short. You go through the tower, up a ladder, boss fight time. You shit. Yeah, all right. Shit like that. I didn't want to say because I talked a little bit about the weapon variety, which I wish was more, because it's like you have sword, and then like lost sword, and then like dawn sword. So you've got like 3 varieties of each weapon, and there's 12 different weapons,
Something like that.
yeah. I just made that number up off the top of my head, but it's not far off. So it's like
Actually kind of feels like an overestimation.
it's a weirdly shallow variety with the like different slight variations, and then you can get into different enchanting if that's what you want to do.
But all the enchanting seemed bad. Yeah, seemed bad.
Yeah, because you're intentionally limiting yourself against certain types of enemies, which I guess is the nature of elemental enchantments. But they had the one that just was a flat damage buff. Why wouldn't I do that one?
There's an enchantment that just increases the base damage of your weapon.
And didn't it like lower the scaling? Wasn't that the? Oh, okay.
It just increases the base damage of your weapon. That's all it does. And you're like, well, what about these other ones? They're like, well, this one reduces the base damage and gives you elemental damage. And it's like, what?
Those ones definitely reduce scaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just makes your weapon worse. But it does
Yeah.
elemental damage. And you're like, that feels like a bad thing.
No, it's fine. Everything's weak to fire except for the things that aren't. Yep, cool.
So am I going to make a weapon for every zone? Or am I just going to stick this one enchantment on it?
Yeah, or am I just going to use the good one?
Cool and good. The whole armor system, I think, is bizarrely complex and not explained well in the game.
Because nothing explains it.
Yeah, because as you said, it's all related to like how much weight you're carrying for how fast you move. The stats that it throws up are all like related to how it interacts with your drain attack and not like your actual stats. It has stat requirements, some of them do, which reflect on your regular stats. And then they all have resistances to slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, and all the different types of elements. But I did not find a single one that had more than like plus or minus 5 in any of those.
I wasn't paying any attention to any of that.
Which I guess maybe the scaling is such that plus 5 would be a huge difference, but it certainly didn't feel like it.
No, not when everything does so much damage to you each time it hits you anyway.
Right? Like, so it never felt like any of these were ever going to make me sturdier. And I was gonna be like, oh, I will be super slow and super heavy and just like tank and then deal massive damage. Nope, wasn't an option.
I will give the game, okay, so we played a lot of the early bits co-op.
Yeah.
We set a password, and then the matchmaking went really quickly. I was having some like weird laggy issues.
Yeah, when you're, because I think it's definitely, yeah, it is peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
So like when you were with me or I was with you, it would be a bit funky for the person who was on the other person's side.
Yeah.
Just like you would attack and it wouldn't be quite right.
Yeah, for me it'd be like I'd swing, a beat would pass, and then the damage would show up, which made blocking or dodging fucking awkward.
Exactly. It was like, it wasn't right. The attacks, animation, and the actual like damage hitboxes weren't quite lined up.
Yeah, which was playable.
It was
Awkward,
Yeah.
But it was fine until we got to like certain bosses, which, Jesus Christ, sometimes it was nigh unplayable.
Yeah, where you would just get vaporized and you wouldn't even really know why.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm dead now.
Let's talk about that fun time fish stripper and how she just like charges at you and then you just take damage and then you see her move and you're like, fuck. What was I supposed to do about that? Get Shrek'd, that's what.
Yeah.
And really, my biggest gripe with this game is the way that the story is presented. And I want to be clear, I didn't mind the story. It's anime as shit. And it's not the story because the story's told you in cutscenes. I would prefer a better way of telling the story, like, actively through gameplay or during gameplay instead of just cutscenes. But it's the backstory, of which there's a lot. There's a shit ton going on in this game that if you really want to know, they will tell you. And they will tell you a lot of it without you having to go out of your way because they fucking dump it at you, but they do it in the worst way possible.
It's through memories. So when you go to purge these memories by talking to Io, you play through them. So you walk through these memories as it plays out. You can't run, and it's obviously there's no skipping little bits of it. So your character just slowly trundles through scenes happening.
And by scenes happening, you walk up to a lantern. There is a still statuette diorama set up of whatever is supposed to be happening, and then character voices, and then you walk on to the next one.
It entirely should have just been cutscenes. The fact that you have to walk between them is slow and somehow less engaging than just being a cutscene.
Yeah, it is. It breaks the pace of the game so much for a game where the combat is generally fast-paced. And sure, you can slow it down a bit. You can block, I guess. I never tried blocking. Or you can do range to try and keep stuff at a distance. But if you're running melee, you're up there, you're in the thick of it, you're moving, you're swinging. So then you get to these slow-ass walking sections while people are talking at you.
Well, it's an interesting thing because, as you said, they don't do anything during gameplay. And I reiterate, your companion will not shut up, but they never say anything of consequence or interest.
No, and they only say the same, 10 things?
About, yeah.
Ad nauseum.
They have a set of lines that are, hey, there's an enemy, hey, there's a thing, hey, you're doing a thing. And they just fire through those over and over and over again. Instead, you could have your characters talk. You're going through something and Lewis is talking about his sister or something.
Yeah.
You could just have them saying exposition while you're fighting things, or in between fighting things, really.
Yeah, you could have Yoko Kano, or whatever that dude's name is, talk about his orphan family, or fucking Mia reminiscing about her brother, or Io. Yeah, she's actually fine.
I mean, she kind of had her memory wiped, so...
Yeah.
You kind of can't have her talk about her past.
Yeah, her canned weird dialogue actually works for her. I've got no issue with it.
So yeah, I don't know. It definitely did not deliver story in a way that I found interesting or engaging.
Oh my god.
The world building was enough for me to pay attention to be able to meander through this thing, but it really was just come on, guys.
You know what I didn't get though? I didn't realize it was part of the God Eater universe. I mean, I'm not familiar with it, so I probably wouldn't have picked up on that anyway. Until I was watching, I was trying to find the cutscene, and it was some dude talking about lore. Oh shit, I had no idea. How would I know that? Because of the weird spikes, I guess? I mean, because it's in its own sectioned off corner of the world with its own canonical reason for all that shit. Fine, I probably should have known when you get the wall drops and you see the monster of the face, it's probably something from the games or anime or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess there's more lore if you connect it to these other games / I know there's an anime of Godkiller out there.
Yeah, but it's I found that tie-in really interesting, which this is part of a larger world, and I really dig the setting as much as I hate anime high schooler fucking vampires. And some of the backstory shit is interesting. Silva is the queen's father. She was the parasite they put in her had the blood from all the creatures of all over the world or some shit, so it was super powerful, and then they ran experiments and shit on her, which was slowly killing her and driving her insane, and she was Louis' friend, and she's kill me please, and Louis is I can't do it, I'm a bitch, because anime, and then she goes apeshit crazy, and then Silva has to stop her, which is neat. Or some of the other side characters and their sad bastard backstories, because wouldn't you know it, everybody has a sad bastard backstory.
Which, I get, blah, 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 but I don't know, I kind of wish that there was someone there who just wasn't.
Yes, exactly.
Who's just yeah, I'm just here making the best of everything I got. this is life. We doing it.
Yeah.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Yeah,
And
this
it's
is-
all
yeah.
right. And they're like, no, I'm here because of my dead family. And you're like, fuck off. Everyone's family's dead. I'm dead. Get over it.
I can't find my fiance. My whole squad was wiped out. They took my son. One of the characters' government did take her baby.
That sucks.
Yeah. Hers
But
is like
again, join club.
her backstory. Really, like that one got to be the most. That was like because it all happened like before everything fell to shit.
Oh, that's got to be extra.
Yeah, like she's just kind of like it was just fucking rough from the get go for her.
Of course, at that point, isn't that like 100 years ago?
How would anybody know? Like they do such a piss poor job of telling you like how much time has elapsed. I guess maybe there's no way for you to know.
That's true. I have no like. I assume they kill you, but you're immortal, so it could have been 10 years, 20 years, 700 years.
Well, that's the thing. They're like, well, the queen died long ago.
Yeah.
But you don't have any frame of reference for how long ago is. You know that once people get the parasite, you get revived from the dead from anywhere between like 30 seconds to upwards of like 20 years. No one knows. You're up when you're up. So when they're like Yoko Kano, he's talking about whatever that fucking dude's name is.
Yeah.
I'm talking about his sad bastard orphan family because they all grew up together and they're all orphans. Blah 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 blah. Fucking fun time experiments with Mito because he's the villain.
He ran experiments on orphans because he's a bad guy.
And he was going to, he did it on everyone else in his family except for Yojimbo because he was still dead at the time. And then when he got up, that's when his friend basically like takes him and runs. And then the like in-game excuse that he gives him is so he could punch him for being a stupid bastard and waking up last. When all of the rest of his friends are like actually dead because they were experimented on from Home Slice and he fucking murdered them.
Yeah.
And like, but how long ago did that happen? You don't know.
You can't. Like, and that's kind of, I think, yeah, part of the problem I had connecting to any of these characters is that it's just all disparate stuff. And again, everyone's sad bastard backstory, and it happened an amount of time ago. And we're currently trying to stop the end of the world or something.
Yeah, this is all the great collapse, and there's like not shit we can do about it except it just keeps getting worse, dear God. Also, vampires, lols.
Lols. Okay, but seriously, there's one cutscene where they very specifically start the camera on Io's chest and then pan just to something else entirely. And we've talked about huge tracts of land and whatever, but like the game focuses on it in that kind of anime fan servicey way, which like I'm not particularly for.
No.
I don't know. Like, if you want a sexy character, you can make a sexy character. But the way the game feels like it really wants you to stare at these breasts, it just feels odd.
Well, breast size is directly equivalent to how sexy they are.
Yeah, well, you'd feel that with some of these characters, because good lord.
Yeah.
By some, I mean most.
Every female character, with the exception of two.
You're like, ah, yes.
Mia and Ricky Maru, whatever that girl's name is.
I have no idea.
Yaksha.
Sure. You could just say whatever you want. I'll agree.
I mean, that is the name that her squad gives her because she was a like badass commando. It doesn't matter.
It does not. So yeah, that's the game.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I've got my grievances with it. I think it does things awkward. The like rating where all of your skill or all of your stats have a letter grade, which isn't clear of what the fuck any of that means.
Yeah, but I had S+ strength.
I think I had S dex and A strength. I liked the gameplay. The core combat was good, and that is what really sells me on the Souls-like games as a genre. If that's what you want to go with, I really enjoy that style of combat. That being the main crux of the game. There are things that I'd want more out of it. I would like to see more in the character creator, which is really, really good. Cannot stress that enough. I wanted there to be more exploration. I want there to be more variety. But with what is there, I enjoyed the game. But it's weird though, because this plays like babies for a Souls game. It is super easy. Now there are bosses which like you might bump into and have a hard time pushing through, but like the game gives you a companion the entire time if you want them. You don't have to take somebody with you. Leveling up will never be an issue for you. Like if you're struggling against a boss, just like run back through the level a few times, gain 20 levels, and then give it another shot. But mostly you just have to learn the patterns because that's how all these kinds of games work. But the exploration exploration isn't there, and if that's what drives you in those kind of games, it's lacking. I don't know. So it's hard for me to say, like, hey, are you a, like, Soulsborne veteran? It's probably too, like, kidified for you. But I also think that parts of it are more challenging for just, like I wouldn't give this to my kids for their first game to play because they would struggle bus with it. It's too
100%
fast-paced.
no. It's, I know enough people who have bounced off of Hollow Knight because of its difficulty.
I could see that.
I don't think Hollow Knight is difficult. There are a few bosses that provide challenge, namely Hornet.
Yeah, it's like I could see that first Hornet fight
And
where
that is
people
what
just can't get
A
past
lot
it.
of people say they get to that first Hornet fight and they're unprepared for how difficult it is, and they die, 3 to a dozen times and they just give up.
Yeah.
And I see that with this game too. I can't say be like, oh well, give it a shot because it's for everyone. No.
Yeah.
If a game gets difficult, especially for fast-paced things, some of these bosses will just crush you.
Yeah.
They are very fast, and you have to dodge, looking for an opening. And as you said, if you're an established Soulsborne player, you've probably already passed this.
Yeah.
Unless you're like you really like Soulsbornes and you're really into anime, I guess you can play it. It's not going to challenge you that much.
No.
And we just covered the story. It's there. It's not the worst. I think the world building's better than the actual story they give you in the game.
Yeah, agreed.
It's all right. I don't know if it's on sale. I think we got it somewhat cheap.
Yeah, we did.
I did not hate it was shorter than I thought it was going to be.
Right?
Genuinely and truly, actually, one of the most disappointing things for me was the game just ended. I was like, oh, what?
Like, I was genuinely considering getting the DLC to just have more to do, but nothing was on sale at that point, and I might pick it up if I can catch it on sale, but, like, I also might legitimately play through it again because, like, I enjoyed it.
So yeah, weird game to start the year on our Anime Year Fest.
Anime!
It's not bad, huh? How many more games can we get this year that are not bad?
I mean, depending on how you want to do it, we can have all of them not be that bad.
Wrong!
But that isn't what we do here.
No, it's not. What we do is answer letters from listeners like you.
Ah, damn it, you beat me to it.
Transition. Except, oh wait, we are actually currently, as of time of recording, out of letters.
What?
Out of letters to read. There's been a couple suggestions, which I wanted to say, anyone who has suggestions, obviously, continue to email those in. There's also, if you want to check our list, we have on the Discord, there is a list of all the games that we are aware of and are potentially looking into playing. So you can check that out to make sure like you don't list something that we already have.
Yep, the list is the current list that we're pulling from, which will be updated periodically as the games that we are playing we pull off the list and then add more to it. But I don't have a timetable for you as to when it'll update it. It'll get updated when it's updated. Although if you're on the Discord, just like remind me, I can do that. Hit us up on the Discord.
Yeah, it should be links in the description.
Yeah, absolutely is. Everywhere. It's what we do. Link all our shits.
Yeah, community building. Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Nothing? Great. Sounds great. I don't know. You played anything else recently?
I've just been playing Monster Train.
Yeah, Jason playing Monster Train. I don't know. I guess Cyberpunk. The 2 weeks off that we had in the end of December, I played 65 hours of Cyberpunk and beat it. Which, if someone wants to throw into you should play Cyberpunk for the podcast. I already played it. It's not that bad. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I can say a lot of things that it did wrong, things that it could do better, and it certainly was a failure of advertising. They went the Todd Howard Master of Lies route, and a lot of people didn't get what they expected because they overpromised. But the actual gameplay was pretty fun.
I mean,
enjoyed it.
I fully expect, because I had said that I planned on picking it up, it was their investor call. They had said they have two major patches, one in January and then one in February, which I am waiting to purchase after those get released, or I hear anything about them, like, because I think it's still up in the air as of right now as far as everyone else knows.
Yeah, they haven't given a firm timetable, so.
But fully expect Cyberpunk to be a Patreon episode.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about it at some point just because there's a lot to talk about.
And like, I genuinely want to play that game. I'm just waiting for them to get more of the bugs fixed.
So there's that. So if you want the brief current discussion on that, that's Cyberpunk. Woo.
I mean, if you had told me that it was just like a steaming turd from start to finish, then like I would have picked it up so we could got an episode out of it. But like the entire time you're playing it, you're like, yeah, no, like I'm into it. Like, oh, like I'll just wait until it's I give it some patches.
On PC, I ran into one, maybe two, quote unquote, major bugs. Literally nothing ever broke my game. It never crashed. Never. There was twice I had very noticeable visual glitches. A few times there's some physics stuff, but like. I don't typically, like, I could count those that, I went to pick up a body and he scuttled away or ragdolled weird.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Especially when, like, as a mechanic in the game and is, like, canonically in the game, you're, like, dying and your eyes glitch out at times.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you're seeing a ghost who's kind of in your head.
Sure.
Like, the whole game, so.
Ha la la la. Yeah.
Yeah, I had almost no issues with it. If you just mainline the story, I think it's a worse experience. There's some really interesting side quests. I do wish it went into more stuff, but again, we can talk about that when you've actually played the game.
Yeah.
But it's not a steaming pile. I have played games that are steaming piles.
What?
It's not.
I know I'm kind of hoping that in addition to some of the bug fixes, there'll be some more content patches. We've talked about The Witcher before.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. You've been playing anything else besides, after you finish that?
Not really, because we got back to streaming, so I picked up my roguelike stuff, so I've got a couple of those to go through, but...
Yeah, right? Like, as it stands, the only game I really want to play I'm doing on stream, which is Sekiro. Like, I really just want to play more Sekiro, but I don't want to do it off stream at this point.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing streaming, because we stream every Monday through Thursday on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheBadGamecast. That, I don't know, I'll play games I'm interested in there with, like, roguelikes that I've been going through, and I have another idea that I may or may not do to kind of split up my streams, and like I'll do those, but then on days where I'm not streaming, it's like, oh, I need to play games and edit stuff for the podcast, so
Yeah.
I'm playing garbage in my spare time, and then it's like, oh, well, when do you just play things you want to play that you don't stream that aren't for the podcast? And I'm like, I don't really.
We had a 2-week end of the year break. That's when.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, if you're wondering what we do with our time off, it's not play garbage for 2 blessed weeks.
I'd sleep in and play good games.
God.
So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, things you actually want to hear us talk about, email thebadgamecast@gmail.com. We'd love to read things out here, but we are currently so lonely. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, YouTube, Reddit, and on Patreon. Thank you to all our patrons for helping support the program.
A special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are the fucking bestest. QN, we love you here. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter @JakePrey.
Sure.
And, God, it's been a while since it's been me and you. For the Bad Gamecast, I've been Jake.
I've been Jason.
Good night, everybody!
Troublemakers, salt shakers, money makers, lefty and righty, balloons, rack, double deckers, domes, goobers, flashlights, cupcakes, bongos, candy bits? What the? Anyway.
Nah.
Mountains, third base, bust, boobies, boobs,
Boobs aren't third base.
udders, bonbons, bombshells, hand puppets, titties, boom booms, playstations, chest anchors, Twin Peaks, eye candy, bubbles, blossoms, spheres, jiggles.
I was hoping buttercups.
The girls, milkshakes, kittens, knobs. That's
Knobs?
the wrong part of the. Anyway, sweet cheeks, also the wrong. Tatas, pom poms, hypnoglobes, fun bags, patties, pistols, cannons, bombs, dumplings, treats,
Ba-bombs.
pillows, cushions, D's, Pop Tarts, humps, bumps, Goombas, tater tots, the goods, and huge tracts of land. That's right, we're talking about anime titties.
There it was at the end. All right, that's gonna do it for us for the week. Is a lazy stream, just listen to podcasts while I fill in some holes. That's right, we don't only dig holes on this server, we fill them in too. This server is public. You can check out the shit we have going on. This will be up for a while, so we've got more stuff to do here. No new episode of the podcast this week, so Jason's back on Monday with, you guessed it, Minecraft. We'll both be on, actually talking and not just listening to podcast episodes. And then I'll be back on Tuesday for our normal weekly schedule. Speaking of Discord being updated, I may or may not put what it is that we plan on doing for the week. Jason will be playing Minecraft and then Might and Magic, because I believe it'll be the whatever mod he's currently playing, the final one. I think Tuesday I'm back with either Werewolf, Earthblood, Apocalypse, whatever the fucking game is, or another bad game preview on the Switch. Haven't decided what I'm doing because they're both super boring and I don't really want to do either, but hey, that is what we do around here. Anyway, everyone that was watching, everyone in the chat, thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Belfion, Jamie Scribbles, Astro, Millstone, thank you guys so very much. And catch you next week. Bye.